Okay. Oh man, what a day! What a day! As you might notice, it's not 6 o'clock. It's not 7 o'clock. It's almost 8 o'clock. But there's nothing I can do about it, man. My day gets busy, and I do what I can. I got here as soon as I could, and I'm here now, and that's what matters. I'm gonna wait till some people get up in here, and then we can talk. We can talk about the news. A lot of stuff happening in the news. Lots of things. Let me pull up the chat real fast, though. Ew, what is that? What is that emoji? That's ugly. I can't tell what it is. Is that an emoji? That's disgusting, whatever it is. Don't like it. It's a flower blowing a kiss heart. It's hilarious that it looks like your full daylight and it's night. Night as hell over here. Yeah, I mean, the sun is still at its. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's at its peak, but it's still up. It's definitely daytime, for sure. Sun don't set here till 9 p.m. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I be forgetting to get on here early because I'll be like, oh, it's not even nighttime yet. And then I'm like, damn, it's like 8 o'clock, bro. So that's what I'm dealing with here. Anyways, Putin about to get clapped, bro. They about to have a civil war over there. There's a um, there's a group of mercenaries that had ties to Putin that are saying they don't have ties to Putin anymore. It's all over for him. I saw some videos where it looks like they're about to do some crazy stuff. Yeah, really. Really, really, really. It's about to get bad for them. Hopefully that means we could stop giving money to Ukraine and they could give me some. But we'll see. They be having a hell of money for Ukraine. Yes, I'm finally eating the candy. It's because we ate so early. So I'm not really hungry, but kind of feels like it's dinner time. So Ukraine's still gonna want it. Yeah, because the next phase is gonna be rebuilding Ukraine. They're gonna be like, guys, thank you for your support. We just need 100 trillion to get back to where we were before the war, and we're gonna give it to them. Honestly, if Joe Biden forgives my student loans, they can do whatever they want with. whatever money to Ukraine. I actually don't care. Got to get that stock for whoever gets the contracts. That's facts. Forgive your mortgage. I'm pretty sure that's not happening. Yo, but there's this thing my coworker was telling me about. Let me look it up because he was saying first time home buyers, if you don't have, if your parents or your grandparents, no one in your family owned a home, it's like they straight up give you money. But it's like a grant. He said it was a grant and it's not a loan. Is that true? I don't know. I'm about to look it up right now. Because people just be saying stuff and I'll be like, bro, I looked it up. That is not true. Grant for first time buyers, first time federal grants, maybe. Let's see. I'm benefiting from you. There might be an exception that if you're married to someone that has a home in their family, you might not be able to do it. So, I just don't actually know. I don't actually know where to look. Let's see. I need to go to something with the government. I already know about the VA home loan. I honestly don't know where to look for this shit. I'm gonna click on this. This link looks informational. Calling my family poor. Let's get divorced to buy a home. I'm not sure that would benefit us, but we got 14 first-time home buyer programs for 2023. So I have to look through these to see if any of them are what he was talking about. But all of this shit says loans. None of this is grants. No down payment mortgages. I think the problem is what he was talking about was not for first time home buyers, it's for first generation home buyers. So maybe I need to type it in better. First generation. This is crazy. Okay, the first generation homebuyer program requires homebuyers to be a first time homebuyer, earn a low or moderate income consistent for their area, buy a home that will be a primary residence, use a government backed mortgage, and be a first generation homebuyer, have parents or legal guardians who defaulted on a home loan or lived in foster care during their lifetime. I hope that's not saying you have to be all of that shit. I hope it's like a or thing because you had a crazy life if all of that applies to you. Phil just said, damn. So I'm saying, if you went through all that, you kind of deserve you deserve whatever grant they giving you, bro. Oh, I think this is what he was talking about. $25,000 down payment towards Equity Act. Let me click this. What is a spoon on the nose supposed to symbolize? Nothing. There's a spoon on the table, and I just put it on my nose. Hopefully, that doesn't mean anything. If it does, that's not what I meant. Down payment towards Equity Act fulfills a campaign promise from the Biden administration. First introduced in 2021. Okay, this has to be what he was talking about. All right, let's see who's eligible. Blah, blah, blah. As of June 24, 2023, homebuyers must meet all of the following requirements. Let's see how crazy it is. Must be a first-time homebuyer. Duh. So, damn, I keep losing it. Must have not owned a home or co-signed on a mortgage loan within the last 36 months. Renters who own homes more than 3 years ago qualify as first-time home buyers. That's not your first time just because it was 3 years ago. Must be a first-generation home buyer or have lived in foster care. All right, we got an or this time. That's better. Eligible home buyers, parents, or legal guardians may not have owned a home during the home buyer's lifetime unless a home was lost to foreclosure or short sale and the parents don't own a home currently. This requirement is waived for all home buyers who have lived in foster care. Ooh, I don't think I'm gonna qualify, guys. My parents own a home. Must earn moderate income or lower. Eligible home buyers must earn an income that's no more than 20% over the median income for a metropolitan area. For example, in Portland, Maine, where the median income is 60,000, home buyers must earn 72,000 per year or less to claim their cash down payment grant. In San Francisco, eligible home buyers must earn 189,000 annually or less. If you live somewhere where 189,000 is considered low income, bro, you need to leave. Like whatever it takes, you need to get out of there. That's insane. If I had $189,000, I would be good, bro. Super good. They must use a mortgage backed by one of the 5 government mortgage agencies: Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, VA, USDA. Don't care. Must complete an online or in-person home ownership class. We will teach you how to own a home. Eligible home buyers can use the money for anything purchase related. That's actually dope. I thought they just like put it towards your mortgage or something. For example, your $25,000 cash grant can be split into a down payment, a lump sum for closing costs, and cash to buy down your mortgage interest rate. 20,000 to make a down payment, 3,000 for your real estate and title closing costs, 2,000 to buy mortgage discount points. You can also use the first time buyer cash grant to make accessibility renovations to your home. If you move within 5 years, you'll pay some money back. If you move within 1 year, you gotta repay 100%. If you move within 5 years, you gotta repay 20%. It goes down 20% every year. How to receive. blah blah blah. That's interesting. Actually, because like you have to apply for this shit online, right? I wonder, cause like obviously we're married for tax purposes, like we're together, but like I wonder on something like this, if you apply for it and it's your name and stuff, and they're looking, cause there's nothing on here that says like it's an exception if you're married to someone whose parents own a home or something like that. There's unless maybe the language of the grant is a lot longer, and that's in there. But I feel like let me just look and see if they have a. Are there restrictions on how I use the money? I don't know, man. I didn't see any marriage exceptions, so I wonder. Forrest Ken, what's up? Never seen you before. Oh, I was saying here. Okay. Well, welcome in. Talk about anything you want to talk about. We talk about everything up in here. Everything. I've seen where Seattle is now more expensive than San Francisco. That's hard to believe. Well, you know what? To be fair, oh my God, I said foreskin. I like just heard it, bro. Hell, yo, who is that? Is that Bisping that they get with the jokes all the time? I gotta, I can't even clown him no more, bro, because every time he reads that shit, I'm like, come on, bro, you knew what you were saying. You knew what you were saying when you read it. But now, bro, I gotta ease up on him. I take back everything I said because I swear to God, bro, I was not even thinking. Like I just read like foreskin. Like, damn, bro, that is actually hilarious. Oh man, threw off my whole train of thought. I can't even remember what I was saying, bro. Uh, what was I saying, bro? Oh yeah, Seattle might be more expensive than San Francisco, but like I don't know, man. Like I don't actually go to Seattle. Like everything I do is like in Renton or Southern or more South. So Seattle's trash. One of my wife's friends got a pay raise to go to San Francisco, like 165K, still broke. Yeah, honestly, man, like that's why you really have to look into it, like where you're going, because if someone would have offered me a job in San Francisco and said, you know what, we're gonna bump you from your pay right now to 130 even, bro, I would have been like, oh, I'm gone today, bro. Like I'm gone. I would never think that 130,000 somewhere in this country is considered poor, but I mean, obviously, it is. If 189,000 is considered low income in San Francisco, that's actually insane, bro. I can't comprehend that. I'm trying to make it make sense in my head, but I can't believe I got with that name, bro. You can also sign for a house as two people, not a married couple. Oh shit, I'm about to get that 25K then. Scam artist. Is the Seattle freeze real? To be honest, I hear lots of people say that, and I actually don't know what the Seattle freeze is. Like, I have an idea of what it is, but I'm like one of those people that, like, if I don't care about something, I won't inquire about it. So, like, I hear people, like, a lot of my coworkers, because most of my coworkers move in from other places just because of the nature of our job. They get an offer and they come here. And they'll be like, you know what, man? Like, the Seattle freeze is not as bad as everyone says. And I'm like, word. I literally never ask what that shit means. What I think it means is people not being friendly here. Am I on track with that? Or nah. If Ox is still in here, she probably knows she's from here. So people who give the cold shoulder, like the exact opposite of Southern hospitality. Oh well, then yeah, that's real. It's just a different culture, man. Like I talked to my wife about that a bunch of times. Like when I first moved up here, like when I would hold the door open for people and stuff, they'll look at you mad weird. Like, what are you up to? And I'm just like, just holding the door, bro. Like, no weird shit. I hold the door open for dudes, women. Like, it's just something everybody does. Like, if I'm walking through the door, I see you right behind me, I just hold it open. I know you can hold the door open yourself. I know you can push it open. I'm not calling you weak. It's just something that people do. Or like where I'm from, for the most part, and Phil, you could correct me if I don't know how it is in Dallas right now, but when at least when I was growing up, if you walk past black people, like and you do that, like you just like 100%, you're supposed to get a nod back, bro. Sometimes I do that up here, bro, and they just look me dead in my eyes, or they look away, and I'm like, all right, bro, that's cool. Like that's what's up. That's cool. But it just depends on who you talk to because I'm actually from the South, so I definitely felt a big change when I came here. But if somebody's from like my coworker came from he lived in Boston and then he moved to San Diego and then he came here and he's like, Seattle's not that bad, man. Like everyone says this, that, and the other, and I'm like, bro, you're from Boston. Of course you don't think it's bad. What do I think of tipping culture in America? Are too many people asking for tips now? Um, it's a complicated one, man. It just is our culture now. So I don't really like having these big discussions about it because it's just either you're not gonna tip and you're just gonna accept that you're probably gonna get into some fights, or you are gonna tip. Like it's like, bro, I don't know how often Phil gets on Twitter, but there's like some heated discussions on Twitter about it. Like I'm talking about, bro, servers and waitresses, whatever they're called, they get on there, they'll post a receipt. It's like an $80 ticket, and they're like, look at this piece of shit that only tipped me $8. Only tipped me $8. And I had to wait his table for 30 minutes. I should have spit in this motherfucker's food and blah blah blah. And I'm like, damn, I need to make sure I tip more. I don't want nobody spitting in my food. Like, bro, I feel like $8. Like, I know that's not a 15%, but it's not like they put a zero on there, bro. Like, and then they're like, if you're so broke that you can't tip, you need to stay at home and not eat. I'm like, they're not broke because they pay for an $80 meal. So you're broke because you're mad that you're only getting $8. But I always tip very well. You can ask my wife; she gets mad sometimes at how much I tip. Like I be tipping like 50%, bro, because I already know that there's a stereotype about people in my demographic. So I'm like, they're expecting me not to tip. I could lean into that and be like, they're gonna treat me poorly because they don't expect me to tip and not tip, but I just do the opposite. I'm like, I'm just gonna make up for the stereotype. It's not gonna win the war, but they're gonna think about it. And I'm like, oh shit, like I thought this dude was gonna give me zero. He gave me 20. You know what I mean? Other countries think tipping is weird. They think it's exploitation to pay waiters 250. They're probably right. Yeah, 100%. Like when I lived overseas in Europe, you're not expected to tip. Like you could tip if you just like really rock with your server like that. But they get paid. Like they actually get paid to do their job. So they're not expecting a tip. It would be like if someone tipped you at your job. If somebody wants to slide me a $20 bill at my job, I'm just saying this as an example, just in case someone gets on here and they're like, "You're a part of the government. You can't accept tips." If someone wanted to give me a $20 bill, I'd be like, "Oh, you don't have to do that." But I wouldn't train someone and then be like, "Wow, really, bro? You just gonna pay for the session, but not give me a $20 bill?" Because I actually get paid enough from my job. But like you said, these people don't get paid enough from their job, so they rely on the tips. So it's a whole little. The problem is, let me end this. The problem is, they're mad at us, we're mad at them, and nobody is mad at the people that are paying them $2.50. So they're like just watching us argue with each other, and they're like getting away with robbery, bro. I hate when they turn the screen around for you to tip. Yeah, and they always think like they think they're being slick. They're like, "Yeah, it's just gonna ask you a question." They're like looking like this, and I'm like, "Well, I'm not gonna put zero on here because you better turn the screen back and see that I put zero." So I'm like, I guess. I used to be a waiter, busboy, host, bartending assistant. Korea thinks tipping is rude. To them, it means you're telling them that they're broke. I like that. Yeah, yo, why'd you give me this extra money? What are you trying to say, bitch? You think I need this shit? You think I'm not paying my bills? Like, fuck you. That reminds me of that. That reminds me of that meme where it's like when you're at the strip club and you see she got stretch marks. He got like the bill, and he's like, "For the kid." That is kind of what it seems like. He's like, "Let me give you some extra money because I know you're struggling." I used to walk out with $80 average for an 8-hour shift, and a chick bartender would walk out with 300 after a 5-hour shift. Yeah. There's this girl I knew in San Antonio, Donica. I didn't check up on her. I haven't talked to her in a long time. But she used to work at Twin Peaks, and she would tell me she used to get stacks, bro. Like crazy stacks. She said she was doing it to like put herself through school and eventually get her master's and do this, that, and the other. And I was like, "This gonna pay for your school?" And she would start showing me how much money she got, bro. And I was like, "What? Like that's crazy, bro." And that's the other thing too. I don't know like which servers and stuff are complaining, but I'm like, y'all must be in like a broke area because like kind of like what you just said. All the girls that I knew personally that did those kind of jobs, they would be racking up tips. Maybe because they weren't ugly or something, but they would be getting stacks off of their tips. So I just get the feeling that they wouldn't get like incredibly angry if one person didn't tip them well. Maybe. I don't know. That's just what I think. Like I said, I wish you could put like pictures and stuff in here because I would just go find the tweets and I would show y'all like these people that post the stuff and they're just like, "Yo, look at this guy that only tipped me $20." Well, that's the thing too. Like, let's say that you only waited one table, which you don't because you wait multiple tables, right? Let's say you only waited one table. Even if it was 8 people at the table and they give you $20, it's like you just made $20 in an hour. That's not insanely low. Like I could be tripping though. If someone's a waitress or something like that and they want to step in and say, "Hey, here's why that's wrong," go ahead, I'll read it. But if you're waiting multiple tables, 3, 4 tables, even if all 4 of them motherfuckers gave you $5, like you still just made 20. Like, I'm not gonna act like the job's not hard, but like, how much do you want, bro? Like, how much are you expecting? Do I tip my masseuse? Always. I go to my masseuse every week, bro. So we're super cool. So like, I'll try to like make it more convenient for myself, and I'll be like, yo, can I pay once a month instead of paying every single time I come? And then if she says yes, so then I'll be like, because you're doing that, now I'm gonna tip you more on this whole package because it's convenient for me. But even if I was still like paying every week, I still would tip every time. So I tip my barber too. But I do it like for them. It's like it's kind of like I do it out of love. Like I fuck with my barber, I fuck with my masseuse. It's like I'm happy to pay you. I'm happy to give you extra money. It's like do your thing. It's not necessarily because like the service is outrageously good. It's just like I rock with you. If I didn't like the person that was doing the service, I would not keep tipping them every single time. They would leave her $100 bills with their phone number. Call, I have more written on the bill. Dudes be simping. Yeah, like I said, that girl at Twin Peaks, bro, the police would have to walk her to her car because she would have so many dudes like trying to catch her after her shift and stuff like that, bro. Like old 50-year-old dudes, like just leaving stacks on the table, bro. There's so many times I'll be like, bro, I'm about to take this 100 off the table, bro. Like, that was when I was in college. I was actually broker than I am now. One thing I do dislike is tipping off the percentage of the meal. So that's what I was saying earlier, bro. I'm like, why does it matter how many people I ate with, bro? Why does it matter? Like, let's just say the salad costs $8, but this steak costs 40. If me and my wife both get salads and it's $16, okay, I'm supposed to tip you $5, $6, whatever. It's less than that, but whatever. If we both get steaks and a drink and our bill's $100 now, I'm supposed to give you $20 just because like I ate finer foods. Like what did you do that was extra? I should be going back there and giving the cook a tip. Like, yo, you had to hook me up with steaks instead of the salad. Appreciate you, bro. But like, why does the waitress need $20 versus 5? Like you brought the same amount of plates, you walked the same distance. Like I said, I don't really care that much. But every time I think about it, I'm like, I feel like I'm getting ripped off, but it's cool. Like I said, it's not something that I'm gonna argue with them about. And I never would because I tip. But when I see the arguments online, I'm like, that shit kind of doesn't make sense, bro. Kind of doesn't make sense. See if anything cool is happening in the news. How do we start talking about tipping? Us Mexicans don't tip. Yo, this is groundbreaking, y'all. I'm about to read y'all this. This is the craziest thing I've ever read. New psychology research indicates that lower socioeconomic status is linked to negative meta perceptions. Great job, guys. Great job on this groundbreaking research. Who would have thought that if you're poor, people look at you differently? That's that's crazy. I'm so glad we did a study on that. The study revealed that people with lower socioeconomic status were actually perceived as more incompetent. They tended to blame themselves for it. Yeah, I feel like I could have told them that before they did the study. Where you are in the socioeconomic hierarchy relative to others in your society or community is linked with how you expect others to see you and how you explain it when your interactions go poorly. Yeah. That's why all rich people think they're geniuses, bro. They be saying the dumbest shit. And hella poor people be like, this guy is the smartest. This guy, he doesn't miss. Kanye could do literally anything, and he's a genius. Elon Musk, what do I think about Andrew Tate? I think the same thing. I think that he's a person. I think he's a sex trafficker. But outside of that, I've never heard him say anything brilliant. I've never heard him say anything that my homies that smoke weed don't say. Like, I just hear him talk and I'm like, okay, like this dude's just 8 out of 10 dudes in America. But because he's somebody, people were like, yo, this dude's so real, bro. Like, I'm like, is he? Like, what is he saying that somebody in this chat wouldn't say right now? Like, it's literally just the fact that he has a Bugatti. He's definitely a woman beater. Yeah, he be on some weird shit, bro. Like I said, I don't think he's stupid. I think he's smart enough to scam a lot of people. But I don't think he's like a genius or anything. I just think he's. What color is your Bugatti then, Jalen? That shit's invisible, bro. It's the. What color is your Bugatti? I got the joint from Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. You can't see that shit, bro. It's outside, but you can't see it though. Bro, he got the craziest accent ever, bro. Like he's living proof that you can fuck your kids up if you don't if you don't leave them in one area. So you might just want to raise your kids somewhere and leave them there for a little bit. Cause I don't know what that accent is, bro. Like it's like he picked up the accent of every single person he ever talked to. The dude's a chameleon. He's like the Kirby of accents. Man, that ain't no damn Midwest accent, bro. That shit is like, it's like, I don't even know how to explain it, bro. It's the accent of someone that lived in the UK when they were young, moved to America, tried to sound like Americans, couldn't really do it, or just spent so much time in America that the accent like rubbed off on them. Oh, he was born in the Midwest, was he? I didn't know that. I don't know where he's from. I can hear the UK in his accent, but like I said, it's clearly American influence. Like he has not lived his whole life in the UK. I really don't want to put him in my Google search bar, but let's see where he's from. Why does it always start off on Bing, bro? I want to throw this computer in the trash. Where is Andrew Tate from? Da 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 da. He was born at Walter Reed, bro. Wow, in Washington D.C. to an African American father, Emory Tate, and an English mother. After his parents divorced, his mother took both brothers to England, where Tate was raised. Okay, well that makes sense too. That's why his accent is fucked. because he had it coming from both parents, two different accents, and he lived in two different places. Like that's a horrible mix for your ears. Chicago and Indiana. When did he live in Chicago and Indiana? I don't watch none of his stuff, bro. So if you're saying that and you know it to be true, I believe it. I just don't. I don't know anything about him, to be honest. Do, 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 do. Do you ever watch Patrick Bet-David? He just interviews Andrew Tate for like 4 hours. I'm definitely not watching Andrew Tate talk for 4 hours, no matter who it's with. But no, I don't watch him. Worst job I ever had? I've had a lot of jobs, man. I guess it would. How are we defining worst? Worst on like dislike or like difficulty. Worst on my mental health. I think the worst job I ever had, like, I was a fry cook at Whataburger. That was my first job ever when I was like 15 or 16. Definitely didn't want to do that. Come home smelling like fucking grease and shit, bro. But yeah, that job was trash. Speaking of that article about where you're at in the socioeconomic scale, like, bro, that shit used to piss me off, bro. Them people be talking to me crazy, bro. Like, I was a fry cook, bro. I'm 15 years old, dumping the fries in grease. I take them out, I put them on the joint, I warm up a burger in the microwave with some shit, put it on a plate, and I would expedite it to the table. Uh, and they'll be like, I ordered it like this. And I'll be like, yeah, well, I don't do the orders, bro. Like, I literally just bring it to you. Like, that's all I do. And like, well, I said I didn't want pickles on my burger. How hard is it for you to make a burger with no pickles? And I would be like, yeah, so like I was saying, I don't make these burgers, bro. Like, some other dude made your burger. Some other dude took your order. I just bring it to the table. And, like, they would say hella rude shit at that point, bro. And I'd just be like, are you stupid? Do you not understand that I'm just bringing you this? Do you remember my face when you ordered? No, you don't, because I wasn't at the register. I'm not the guy that cooks your burger. I'm just a fry cook that expedites food to the tables. That job was trash. Office Max, nah, I wouldn't. That job was easy. I just had an annoying manager. I would just go sit on the toilet all day at Office Max. And I'll wait, because we had walkie talkies. And I'll wait till my manager, Van, he'll be like, has anyone seen Jalen? And I'll run out. And I'll be like, yeah, right here, Van. Just stocking the shelves back here by the printer ink. And he would like run over. He'd be like, that's insane. I just walked around here like 8 times. I didn't even see you there. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, I was low down here stocking the shelves. Probably just didn't see me because you were looking up. And he'll be like, huh. Bro, I would do that shit every day. I'm like, this guy's an idiot. But I would say parts of my time in the military definitely worst. Definitely didn't want to get up and go in. Honestly, man, I'm like not a serious complainer, so it's hard for me to think of like something that was like the worst. Like everything is just like something that I have to do. But yeah, when I was doing military intelligence, cause I had to sit in like what's called a skiff. Like there's no windows, you can't take any electronics in there. Like my whole shift, I would be in there. That shit was garbage, bro. Just because for 12 hours, bro, I got no contact with the outside world. Like, fucking 9/11 could have happened and you won't know until you come out and you're like, what the? So, but still, like, still sitting in the chair doing intelligent stuff on a computer. So it's not like. I think mentally that was the worst one because I was just like, bro, I don't want to go in here for 12 hours. But I worked at Bucky's. Bucky's was cool. It was just like constant cleaning. Like that's all. I just had to clean the pumps every time someone used it. Clean the toilet anytime someone used it. It wasn't that bad. Did moving and storage. That shit kind of sucks sometimes because you had to take like heavy ass refrigerators, couches, stuff like that up the stairs and like almost fall back down and kill yourself. Stuff like that. But like I said, man, I'm like a super neutral dude. Like I don't get very excited about stuff, but I don't get very like bummed out about stuff either. I'm just like, whatever. Like this is what's going on. So all my jobs have been like the same to me. Besides, um, coaching and strength and conditioning. So I'm passionate about this. So it's a little bit different. But everything else outside of that was like all the same. Kind of sucked to me. Pause. What was my ASVAB score? You take a guess. I'll tell you how far you are away from what I got. 80. Have some respect. Have some respect, dog. You are. I'll tell you, you're at least 10 points away from what I got. At least. That doesn't mean that it's not more. You're at least 10 points away. But I can tell you, you're going to get it wrong on your second guess, too. Rolando's closer than you were. Is it possible to get a 120? Not on the ASVAB. On different parts, there's different scores, but the maximum score you could get on the ASVAB is 99. 92? No, you're still wrong. You're not gonna guess what score I got because you don't respect me enough. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, there's no other interesting news. Yes, I got a 99. Something a lot of people don't know about me is that I am an excellent test taker. Saying that I'm an excellent test taker might be downplaying my intelligence, but I'm just gonna say that I'm an excellent test taker. I took the SAT when I was in seventh grade, and this is how old I am. This is when it was on a 1600 scale still. I think it's 2400 now. I took the SAT when I was in seventh grade, and I got like a 1400 on that shit. And I didn't even have to take it in high school because that was like a good enough score to get into whatever college I wanted to. But I did take it again in high school, and I got a higher score. But by that time, when I took it my junior year, it had moved to the 2400 scale. So, um, whatever score I got, I couldn't compare it. I couldn't be like, damn, did I get a better score than the 1432 or whatever I got when I was in seventh grade. I just when I went to West Point, like I had to do the 2400 scale because it changed and like that was their requirement, so I had to retake it. But yeah, like all standardized testing, I don't know where y'all are from, but like ours in Texas was called a tax test. Every time I took that shit, I basically got no questions wrong. Like I would always get scores back, and it would say like you're in the top like 1 percentile of the country, like of test taking and stuff. I got a letter from George Bush when I was a kid. When I was in, how old was I in South Carolina? Fifth grade, sixth grade, fifth grade. I got a letter from George Bush for being a great test taker because I got one of the highest scores in the nation on whatever standardized test that was as a kid. So I was actually just talking to my wife about this actually right before she left to work. I'm not gonna say that I'm humble because I'm not. And I don't really ever suffer from imposter syndrome, but I'm smart enough to know how smart other people are. I'm smart enough to know how much information is out there. So I never like call myself like super intelligent. I never call myself like anything crazy, right? To me, I'm like an ordinary dude. And I really feel like that. I'm not like I said, I'm not like trying to be humble or like get compliments or something like that. So I think like what happens sometimes is like I have regular conversations with people. I never bring up like where I went to school. I never bring up any standardized testing or anything like that. It's so like I just think people just don't expect it from me. Like I don't like I think I talked about this on here before. Like I intentionally like bring my vocabulary down to whoever I'm talking to. I don't ever want to like grandstand someone and make them feel like, oh wow, like I can't even understand you because of the words you're using and stuff like that. So there's been a handful of times, man. I've been having a conversation with someone and they'll be talking about something and like, I know you've never heard of this, but blah blah. And they'll like tell me about some shit that I know all about, bro. And I'll just be like, you got it, bro. Like, I won't even tell them. Am I part of Mensa? No. No wonder you learn Spanish so easily. I mean, I wouldn't say I learned it easily. And I don't think I did anything that anyone else couldn't do. I could show you at least 50 people on YouTube that have done the exact same thing as me. Now, what I do want to do eventually is like get some higher education. I do want to do stuff in Spanish that other people are typically not doing. I have not done that. To me, I speak regular Spanish. Like it's for someone that learned it. Like obviously not like low level people that say like, oh yeah, I speak Spanish and they say like two words. But I don't. Let me pull back a little bit. I watched a video today of this Nigerian girl, and like this is a true Nigerian girl. This is not a Nigerian girl that was born and raised in China. She is Nigerian. She went to a Chinese university in China and got awarded best graduate, bro. In China, in Chinese, bro. She's giving a speech in Chinese, bro. Like I don't know Mandarin, but she didn't stumble. She didn't stumble, bro. She won best graduate at this high level institution in China amongst Chinese students and didn't stumble in the speech. So like to me, and this is what I'm talking about. This is why I never claimed to be anything special. Because when I see people like that, I'm like, bro, I can't compare myself to that. If I went to a university in Spanish right now, bro, I would have a tough time trying to complete the curriculum because I would have to focus on what the teacher was saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like wherever she's at in her Mandarin, like that's not an issue for her. Like that's what I'm saying. She's next level, bro. That's the kind of stuff that I eventually want to go on to do. So, I mean, I appreciate you saying that I learned it easily, but like I said, I don't think anything that I've done up to this point is like very special. George Carlin compared Clinton and Bush's education slogans and said, Head Start, No Child Left Behind. Somebody is losing fucking ground here. Yeah, that no child left behind shit. Children were absolutely left behind. Were you the guy in high school that never studied and got straight A's? Yes and no. I would say that yes, but in the same sense that like what I've talked about with Spanish, right? When you think that the way to do something is this way and someone doesn't do that, in your mind you're like, they didn't study. They didn't do this work that regular people have to do to get to this point. But that's just because you think that this is the path. So like just to give you an idea of what my dad is like, I knew all like that, that 12 by 12 multiplication table. I knew how to do long division. I knew how to do all that simple math stuff before I went to any schools, any kindergarten, pre-K, all of that stuff, bro. I could do that as a little kid. So, yes, in class, I did not have to study because I already knew how to do that shit, which is why, like, when I took standardized testing, I was always way above other kids because you're just learning how to do addition, and I already know how to do multiplication, division, and so I'm like ready for the next step. So no, I did not study the material that we were given in class, but it's not to say that I hadn't done it already. I was reading other stuff. I was trying to do like the next thing. I was hella bored in school. And I know a lot of kids say that. I know a lot of teachers even say like your child isn't this, they just are not applying themselves. But that was like literally me, bro. Like and a lot of the what are they called now? Not what are they called now? What are they called? The syllabus, right? The syllabus changed when we were kids. Phil, maybe you remember this. Like tests were like 95% of your grade. I'm not even exaggerating. It was like 90 to 95%. Homework was like 5%. Attendance was like 1% or some shit like that. So yeah, bro, I was like, I'm not doing homework, bro. Like this shit's hella basic. I already know how to do this stuff. Like I'm literally gonna show up and get 100 on the test. So I'll get a 95 in the class because I had strict parents. I wasn't gonna miss school. I got the 1 to 5% for that, and I got 100% of the 90% that I could get for the test. So I'm like, I'm not fucking doing this homework, bro. My teachers would be pissed, but I'll be like, there's literally no incentive for me to do the homework. I'm not gonna go take up 2 hours of my day at home filling in papers like just to do it. So now yeah, yeah, too easy. Just showed up to graduate. Exactly. But now I've been like, my friends have kids and stuff, and I'll be looking at the syllabus and I'm like, yo, the tests are only 60%, bro. The homework is 30%. That's insane, bro. Like, they have to do the homework to actually pass. So, definitely different. But yeah, so like I said, not to say that I'm not doing it, just different. Same thing I said with language. Like, people study books for hours and then they just say like, I'm just not good at languages. I do all of this studying, but then when I try to talk to someone, I can't talk. It's like, well, you're actually not doing what would benefit you. That's why. Not to say that studying doesn't help you at all, but it's like it's like playing a basketball simulation on the screen and then saying like, I don't know why when I actually grab the ball and try to shoot, it's like not going how I want it to. It's like, well, it's because you're not practicing it. Like you're practicing. You're practicing, but you're not practicing what you need to do. Yeah, life isn't a standard test. You need flexibility and real life experience. Exactly. Yeah, so that's what I always tell people, man. Like, you can do grammar work if you want. You could do book work, but that shit should be to like strengthen something that you already know and kind of just to like reinforce something, right? So For example, Planet Moolah, we've talked a little bit about your knowledge. You know of the subjunctive, right? You know of the present tense subjunctive. And I'm not like super good with grammar terms. I know like how to do stuff, but like I said, I don't really be looking at grammar books like that. So I might not know the name for something. But you know of the present tense subjunctive. But maybe ice cream truck. Maybe every time you want to use it, you have to think real, real hard, right? But you know it, you know what it is, you know like what triggers it, blah blah blah. And you found that out through conversations. Then that is when I would say, you know what, bro, like I want this to be automatic. So if I was doing work in a book or something, it would be for repetition so that like every single time like I said paque whatever, like it would just come out. Like I said it 1,000 times already. But it wouldn't be like me learning that concept in the book and just like writing it 1,000 times and just hoping that it worked in the conversation. You could try it like that, but either way, whichever way you do it, like it ends with you having conversations. If you're doing all of that work in a book and never having a conversation, it's not gonna work out well. So that was a really long answer to your question, but that's what it is. But yeah, man, school school has changed a lot. A few months away from starting conversations. Why are you a few months away? There's no way you're a few months away, bro. You can have a conversation today, bro. 100% you can have a conversation today. Not can, not could. Like, you need to have a conversation today. Whatever reason you're putting it off, that's the reason that you need to do it today. I'm still learning words, sentence structure, ECT, etc. But that's why you need to talk. That's that's why. You're gonna learn that stuff from conversation. Like I said, man, think about a little kid. Think about I don't know if you have any kids in your life. I don't know if you have kids. I don't know if you have nieces, nephews, if you have friends with kids, whatever. They don't read books, bro. Not when they're 2 years old. Like there's only concepts. Like language is concept. Like there's something that I want. Yes, I said ETC. There's something that I want. There's something that I'm thinking, and I want you to understand that. That's what language is. So you don't need to because I didn't say etc. the first time because if you were reading this stuff like I'm reading it, like I'm talking and I'm reading it, so I'm not actually like looking ahead, right? I'm like reading it as it's happening, which is how this guy got me earlier. I don't think you were in here, but I said his name was Force Ken, and I was like, "What's up, Force Ken?" And then Phil started laughing and shit, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Ah, damn, I said foreskin." Like, but yeah. So back to what I was saying. Everything is a concept, right? Quick on the trigger. Yeah, bro, like that's our whole relationship. Like we make fun of each other so much for if you stumble in this household, bro, it's a wrap for you, bro. Like if I hear her make a mistake in either language, I'm like, what did you just say? Like, bro, that's just how we are. Like, but it's normal. That could have been Bozo. It could have been. You don't have to justify your comprehension level. Shut up. Y'all distracting me. Rolando, don't give him ways out, bro. Because yes, you're right. It is like a homemade immersion system. There's also language transfer, and I thought language transfer was cool. I found out about that too late because I was already talking. But Language transfer was cool. It's not quite the same as that, but it's a cool little concept thing. But regardless, you gotta talk, bro. You gotta talk. You have to. Back to what I was saying. You want something, right? Or you're thinking something, and you want me to understand that. That's what language is. So, like, you need to try to express that. You're not even gonna know what you can express until you try to express it. You're not gonna know all the combinations of things that people could say to you until you talk. Especially when you're talking about stuff out of a book, bro. That's cool, but people don't be talking like that. And you're not even gonna know until you talk to people. So like there's like some little dialect stuff that could like really throw you off. Like for instance, lots of Mexicans, not just Mexicans, but this is like heavy Mexicans. I know some Puerto Ricans that do this too. But like they'll say cistes, like with an S. And like if you're not talking, bro, and like the first time you hear that, you might be like seriously thrown off because you'll be like, hold on a second, like maybe this is a different word, like maybe I don't know something, right? Like that shit could really throw you off if someone's saying a letter that doesn't exist, or like that's not the only example, but it's just one, or like just certain words. Like for example, Puerto Ricans do this a lot just because of the frequency of bilingualism. They're like they all speak English and Spanish, right? So some concepts. How do I say this? Let me just tell you what it is, and then I'll try to explain it afterwards. In Spanish, to say something makes sense is tiene sentido, right? It has sense. In English, we say makes sense. But because Puerto Ricans speak both languages and they're usually learning English from somebody that learned English, lots of them say hace sentido. But like that's not how you say it. But a lot of them say that. And like I wouldn't bat an eyelash if that happened because I talk to a lot of Puerto Ricans. So that happens in English too. Um, Actually, there's a really good article that I just read this morning about how there's a new dialect of English in South Florida because there's so many Spanish speakers there. So concepts like Axel does this a lot. Like getting down from the car. Like that's not how you say it in English. But in South Florida, people that don't even speak Spanish because they're being born in that area around so many Spanish speakers, they're saying get down from the car instead of get out of the car. They don't know Spanish. They're monolinguals, and that is how they conceptualize that getting down from the car. So if you never heard someone say that before, you're gonna be confused, right? So it's little stuff like that. Like you have to have conversations to just. There's lots of changes happening every day, bro. People say stuff in different ways. People have weird accents. People talk fast. People talk slow. Sometimes people are uneducated. So you think that reading your grammar book is you think reading your grammar book's gonna prepare you, but the people that you're talking to don't read grammar books. They don't know if they're saying the shit right or not. They just know that they're being understood, which is what matters. Hey, get down. Ending verbs with yes is normal. Yeah, it is normal. That's what I'm saying. But if, like I said, like you're bilingual, you're not gonna think twice about it. Someone that's hearing that for the first time is gonna be mad confused. Just like if you never spoken to, um, if you didn't grow up around black people, I'll even say that because you could talk to black people and still be confused. Like our vernacular is totally different um, than like white America at large and grammar books. So a lot of times, like A lot of times people actually don't know what someone like they don't know what a black person is saying when they say this person be doing something. Like they conceptualize it totally different than we conceptualize it. There was a really good video and article about when they asked black kids and white kids, they had a picture. It was like Cookie Monster and someone else. And the someone else in the picture was eating cookies. But they asked who be eating cookies. All the black kids said Cookie Monster. All the other kids pointed at the person that was eating cookies at the moment. But if someone be eating cookies, that doesn't mean they're eating cookies right there. That means they usually eat cookies. So it's just like I said, if you don't get out there and talk to people, when you hear that stuff, you're gonna be not necessarily completely lost, but it's definitely gonna be a shocker. You gotta talk to people. Like communication is communication. Like language evolves. We know that. I know Rolando at least knows like the subjunctive in the English language is completely different now. Uh, Also, just like I mean, even in Spanish, lots of like no, actually we could use America for example. Like usted is not really common here. It's just not. And honestly, Mexican Americans use it more just because I think they have more contact with actual people in Mexico. But you go like Colombia, places in South America, like it's way more frequent, and people use it for their elders. Like my boy in Colombia, like he would never, ever, ever, ever say "tú" to his mom. Like he just wouldn't do that. But here, like it's just nothing. Yeah, it's not the first time a Romance language has influenced English. French is why English is so different from all the other Germanic languages. Yeah, we talked about this last time a little bit. My mom speaks African American vernacular English with a Korean accent. Yeah, but yeah. So you could recognize it when you hear. I had a client, bro, and she was mad German, bro, like crazy German accent. On God, bro. We talked for like 15 minutes in our first session. She said something, and I said, "This is a weird question," but I'm like, "Are you married to a black dude?" And she was like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" And I was like, "The sentence you just said, only a black person would say that. Like, it's just true, and it was true. Like, as soon as she said it, I was like, either she got black friends or she got a black husband. But I was correct. Hey, you guys, what's up? What you up to over there? Welcome to the chat. Oh man, I went to your page to see if you had some new videos, but it's still been 2 years. That's because the USA has no respect for their elders like other countries. Um, yeah, that's definitely partially correct. Like I said, man, times change, cultures change, traditions change. Like it's tough, man. Because on one hand, you get to a point where you're like, yeah, we're lacking respect. But on the other hand, I look at some other cultures and I'm like, bro, just because you're 80 years old don't mean you could say anything you want to me, bro. It doesn't mean you could smack me just because you're 80, bro. I would drop a old man, dog. Like, so music is far gone from me. Spanish is my hobby now. Yeah, it looks like we're in the same boat. I don't be making music no more either. She goes, I just be talking like that. Thomas Sowell says, Ebonics really isn't real. Yeah, Ebonics, yeah, that's a complicated subject, but Ebonics and African American vernacular English are technically different. Ebonics is just the hillbilly English. that the slaves learned from the poor whites. Yes and no. Yes and no. But that's the same thing as like patois, right? Like you you can say like, oh well, Jamaicans don't speak a different language. Patois is just what the Jamaican slaves learned from Irish slave masters, but they put their little spin on it. Well, it's like, well, yeah, that kind of creates a whole different thing. Like, if you can't understand what they're saying, bro, it's different. If you get if every one of them understands their grammatical structure and you make a mistake on it, you don't speak the same language as them, or you don't speak the same dialect as them. You could say it's not a different language. You could say patois is not a different language. It's at least a dialect. I think it's a different language, but if you can understand them, bro, it's different. Just started Tandem yesterday, liking it so far compared to Hello Talk. Man, you know what? I forgot what Tandem was. You just gave me a little flashback. It was something I downloaded like years ago and never used it. Someone on a podcast recommended it and I never used it. Why you like Tandem better than Hello Talk? Yeah, I would be interested in hearing why you like it better. Old English used to have a formal U, but it was lost through time. Yeah. Old heads in Mexico feel like they can do whatever. Yeah, tell us your experience with that. I already know you got some experiences. I can pinpoint on Tandem where the people exactly are. They also push for in-person get-togethers. That's dope. That's dope. I don't know how many of y'all know Mike Ben, but Mike Ben was like very inspirational for me to learn Spanish. And at one point before he really got off of here like that, he was like making language exchanges happening in Georgia, and like I'm just too lazy to do that, bro. But I think that's dope. Like if I was a more like A type personality, I would do that. Like, because it was like people that spoke Spanish and people that spoke English getting together, teaching each other the language, stuff like that. Which is, like I said, that's what you need. Like, you need to have conversations. You need to talk to native speakers of whatever language you're trying to learn so that they could tell you, like, yeah, this is how we would actually say it. Like, you might have learned it this way, but, like, nobody talks like that, right? So, language exchanges are cool. If you could meet up in person, definitely do that. I was so jealous. Yeah, man, that's like I said, that's a good experience. Kind of going back to what I said, I don't think you were in the chat yet, but I was talking about how when you have conversations, like you really get to learn the concept, not just the word or the phrase or whatever. Like when someone does an action and they're saying it at the same time, it becomes like way more permanent in your head. Like I think I've probably told like the same stories on here like 100 times throughout different videos, but like all of my most embarrassing moments in Spanish became like the most automatic things for me because it was like etched into my brain. Like when people would ask me stuff and I couldn't understand it and they would slow it down and then I would hear it and I'd be like, oh shit, like I know what that means. But then like because I was so embarrassed, bro, it was like I never forgot it. Or like you know what I mean? Like stuff that was happening in real life, like I never forgot it. But maybe stuff that I'll read in a book or something, I might forget it and see it again. I'm like, what does that mean again? I'm like, oh yeah, that. But stuff like when if I pick up something and someone tells me the word, or they say pass me that thing. I'm like, oh, that's what it's called. It's like I won't forget it after that. My wife's grandpa was like 70. He tried to box you, bro. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I would have been rattled by the confidence too, because I'd be like, what do you know that I don't know, bro? Like, why are you trying to box me right now? Wait, so like, I need to know how, like, what was the conclusion to that, bro? Like, I'm guessing you didn't box him because you said he tried to box you. What did you tell him? You're like, sit down, oh man. Bro, that's crazy. Was he drunk? Cause if he wasn't drunk, that's kind of scary, dog. He might have a crazy left hook that he was about to catch you with. I'm just tired of Discord, Zoom, Skype calls. I want to go to like a coffee shop or something. You should, man. Where do you live at? I don't know where you live at, but if you there's a 99% chance that if you go to like a I don't know, bro, like any kind of restaurant where they make bro, there has to be Spanish speakers in Indiana. Yeah, go to a restaurant where they make blank culture's food and go make some friends there, bro. And like you said, if it's a coffee shop or something, you'll have a better chance because it's like it's not nighttime and like where you might only be talking to like a waitress or something. Like go somewhere where like you'll be able to sit down, chill out, maybe talk to someone. Coffee shops, any kind of like food trucks and stuff, because you'll have like a face to face interaction, just stuff like that. If you just go where stuff is happening, like you'll meet people, dance classes, all kind of stuff. Sober, dog, that's scary, bro. Like, I need to know more about this, bro. I need to know, bro. What? He's 70. How tall is he? How much does he weigh? Do you think that there was any chance that y'all were gonna have a good fight, or like were you just gonna knock him out? Like, I need to know. Also, I need to know what you did, bro. Because if he's 70 and he was just ready to just like risk his life, bro, you must have did something crazy. Recently lost my job about 2 months ago, so I'm trying to watch my funds a little on food spots. There isn't any other spots I could find. Yeah, without funds, that's tougher. But are you still are you still looking for a job, or did you get another job? I feel like 2 months with no job is a long time. But you must have had money saved up. If I lost my job right now, I'll be homeless. Uh, bro, I want a remote job with like an extra remote job so that I can leave the country. I'm looking for something right now. I'm about to take like the most random remote job that's not even that much money so I can just go live in Colombia. Like, cause I feel like I mean I'll take a huge pay cut, but if I could, no, teach Colombian kids English, no, because like their money is not no. Like if I got paid in their money, I would have no money. That's what I'm saying. I could take like the worst job ever, remote, and it's still gonna be way more money than I would um, make getting paid by them. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. I could do like a customer service job remote or something. Because even with like I don't know, like 30K or something like that, that's a huge pay cut for me. 30K, 40K, but I would I would be able to survive. China isn't paying well. No, I get paid well, but I live in a state that's expensive, and I work in person. I do remote training too, but it's a little more inconsistent. So, like if I got all my clients, if I was like, yo, all of y'all are gonna start over and work, or you're gonna pay in August. I'm gonna leave in August. Everyone pays in August. I'll have more than enough money. But the way it's like on a rotating schedule, so someone might pay for 3 months at a time. I might spend that money on new tires or something like that. That money's gone until the next time I get paid. So it's just inconsistent. And also, you could stop anytime you want. That's the other thing. A real job, it's like, at least I know I'm going to get my next check. You could be my client. We could work together for 3 months. And I could be like, yo, you renewing? And you could say, yeah. And the day before you're supposed to pay, you could be like, yo, man, I was looking at my funds. I actually need to take a break because whatever, life's hard. And I'll be like, that's cool, man. But like, now I have no money. You know what I mean? So folks was getting in trouble at my job for moving in Europe because of the taxes. Yeah, well, I wouldn't do it like super permanently, but I would want to go over there. Like, I think I told y'all before, like August to December, and then I could think about what I would want to do after that. We were watching an old fight of Manny Pacquiao where some Mexican KO him and he got hyped, and I said it was luck, and he got pissed. Wanted to fade. I said no matches. And he was serious. I'm guessing that was when Juan Manuel Marquez knocked him out. That was not luck. He was right. So he should have fought you. I was like, stop playing and sat down and then played it out. But I was shook on the inside because he lived a crazy life in Mexico, so he's pretty tough. Bro, this dude was probably related to Juan Manuel Marquez, bro. And he was about to sleep you, dog. You ain't even know it, bro. He was gonna catch you. He was gonna catch you with the same counter, bro. He was gonna do it to prove a point. He was gonna sleep you, and when you woke up, he was gonna be like, "Was that luck?" And you was gonna be out of it. That makes sense. My big butt needs a trainer. Yeah, I had a decent amount saved up, but my plan is to travel for a bit while I do these interviews. Hey man, if you ever want a remote trainer, holla at me. You could go to my website, or you could send me a message on, or you could email me or send me a message on. I don't know if you have other social media, but sometimes people just message me on Instagram instead. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I'll be dodging taxes, but if people PayPal me or Venmo me or Zelle me, I'll be like, I'll hook you up with a little discount because I don't have to go through the processing fees and all of this other stuff. I'm lucky, so I dodged the bullet. 20 times Golden Gloves winner. How much are your Spanish lessons? Oh man, my if you're looking, it depends on why you want to know. Because if you're looking to get with my guy, you're not gonna pay the same price as me because I was his first ever. I'm the one that got him in the business, bro, and so he definitely charges people more now, especially because like he's refined his craft. So like he knows the pitfalls. He knows like what he needs to teach people first now and stuff like that. So the price I was paying him, bro, or the price I still pay him. Technically, like remember how I was saying like I tipped my barber, I tipped my masseuse, bro. I be giving him extra money just because like what I pay is so low. But the thing is, like I said, he's in Colombia, bro, and a dollar is like 5,000 of their pesos, right? And so when we started, I was like, bro, like I know your government's not giving you nothing during the quarantine or whatever. Like, how about we talk on the phone in Spanish and like um, and I pay you for it. And he was like, cool. Like, and bro, the number he said was so low. I was like, hell no, nah, bro. I can't even like that's. I feel uncomfortable doing that. I was like, let me at least pay you $10 an hour. Dude was mad grateful. Blah blah blah. Because that's hella money, right? We've since gone up from there. What he would charge you, I don't know. What I pay is closer to what he said, like 14 an hour. But I'm pretty sure he would charge you more. Just keeping it real. Just because he has like a bunch of people, and every single one of them would tell you that he's the reason that they started having conversations like 2 months in to their journey. So, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I was telling you earlier when you say you're months away from having a conversation. Go look at Bria. Go look at the last Spanish interview that I did on here. Bria was only 10 weeks into her Spanish journey when she did that full conversation with me in Spanish. Was it the craziest Spanish ever for her? No. But she had a full conversation. She talked about every single thing she wanted to talk about, even if she had to think for a long time or whatever. She was able to communicate, which is the goal. That's how you improve your communication, by communicating. So, um, does he have a website? No, he doesn't. But I can give you his WhatsApp or his Instagram. Because by day, he's actually a sports journalist. Like, he is a sports journalist for the government of Colombia. Like, he travels around Colombia documenting, like, you know, if they do like the Pan American Games, stuff like that. He's a person that puts the pictures and makes the story. Like, he's like a legit sports journalist, bro. So, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's legit, bro. And he's super intelligent because he's a sports journalist. So, I know a guy that came back from Guanajuato. He says there's a bunch of cartels fighting for Guanajuato. He says they're leaving the bodies. Oh, damn, bro. That's crazy. My problem is I can't cook and my mom has been working more. I eat good with her here. Guanajuato is the most dangerous right now. Yeah, bro, I ain't trying to go out there, bro. Y'all got that. I don't mess with no cartel type stuff. Yo, real talk, in my hometown, bro, this wasn't a cartel thing, I don't think, but it was close enough. There was this white kid that went to my school, bro, and he would say he was Mexican mafia, bro. No lie, bro. One day he said that shit. The next day there was a school announcement, and it was like, yo, if you, like, don't ever say you're part of a gang. Like, if you're not part of a gang, they're like, don't ever claim to be a part of blah, blah, blah. Bro, this dude got found chopped up in a trash can in front of his house, bro. And that's when I was like, I ain't never messing with none of those dudes, bro. I took my teacher off of iTalki and we got together on Discord. Yeah, so there's a lady I know from Puerto Rico that I basically did the same thing with. She lives in Prague right now, which is why we don't talk like that anymore. We're just like friends on social media. But she was on italki, but I never did italki. I saw her on Instagram and I was like, "Can I PayPal you?" And she did it cheaper because she didn't have to do it through italki. So I would just talk to her. But like I said, her we got totally different schedules because she lives in Europe. So basically, we just send each other like educational videos now. I should try to get her on here. I should try to get her to do a Spanish video. Planet Mula, do you have Instagram or nah? Or nah? What the? That is not what I'm looking for. A fake IG. That's all you need, man. I send you his. I see. I send you his Instagram. You can just look at it. You don't actually. I would message him at least if I were you, just to see if you can get a price. But I mean, he's just a cool dude, so you could just look at it if you want to. He used to be a champion weightlifter. He was really good. What is his? I forgot his Instagram. You know when you just know how to get to someone's Instagram on your phone? I just type W and it pops up. And now I can't actually think of what his Instagram is. Give me a second. How much is italki per hour? It's not a set rate. It's whatever the person wants to do. So yeah, exactly. You can get someone as low as $5 an hour, but sometimes you get what you pay for. Exactly, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's why Will's stuff is high because he knows that he's a good teacher. And when I say high, I just mean like higher than $5 an hour. It's gonna be less than 20 still. I just don't know what number he's gonna tell you. I think it also depends on like where his country's currency is at the moment, because that fluctuates. Yo, what is this dude's Instagram, bro? This is insane. Alright, I'm gonna have to go to my Instagram to find his Instagram. Speaking of which, only time I ever kind of ducked a fight is because I was like, yo, I'm pretty sure this dude's family's in the cartel. No cap. I didn't really duck the fight. I was ready to fight. But they kind of pulled up with like 6 black trucks, and I was like, nah, we're not doing this, bro. Not falling for that one. Alright, this is actually pissing me off. I can't think of what this shit is. Let's see. Yeah, Planet Moolah. We're gonna get you talking, man. I want to get on here one day and see that you said, yep, had my first conversation today. It was amazing. Or it was horrible. Either way, I just want you to talk. So it is. Instagram. Saw my interview with the boxer. Do you want to box now? This is about to piss me off. Yo, Phil, are you in here? Are you trying to do me a favor, bro? Because it's about to piss me off. I feel like Google is like intentionally hiding his Instagram from me, which is weird. Yo, I just want you to go to my followers and type in Wilmer. I'm sure you might have seen him before, but I'm looking for his actual Instagram handle so I could put the link in here. I really thought it was Wilmer_Torres. Wilmer underscore. That's what I thought. But it doesn't pop up on Google. unless the underscore is in like a different place than I think or something. Most football content commentators be getting ready to kill one another because their opinions. Stephen A. Smith ain't got nothing on Latin American commentators. Yeah, I think commentary from Latin American countries is just better in general. Like when I watch boxing, like I'll be watching illegal streams, and illegal streams always have like two HD streams and one HD Spanish stream. I always click on the Spanish one because like it doesn't really matter what the sport is. Like American commentators are kind of dry. They don't got the same passion, man. I saw Puerto Rico advance for the first time in history, and like this commentator that was speaking English was like, "They made it. They made it for the first time in history." Like, bro, everyone on the comments was just like, "Bro, I've never seen someone not say goal." Like, I'm just like, what do you mean they made it, bro? Like, it's the first time it ever happened in history, bro. I'm not even like an exciting or excitable person, and I would have screamed, bro. Hugo Sanchez calls anyone who disagrees with him a traitor to Mexico. Even if you type WIL, nothing pops up. I wonder if he deactivated for some reason. That would be weird if he did, but nah, no way, dog. You about to make me log into my account on the desktop, bro. To find this profile, I'm so obsessive, bro. I don't like not finding stuff. Let's see. This guy probably did some stupid shit, like change his name. Alright. Nah, it's definitely not a kid that works out. He's he's almost 40. Alright, I gotta log into my. Oh, you can't see all my followers? What about. It's probably just gonna be easier for me to just log into the desktop, bro. I was gonna say, you should be able to look at who I follow, though. It says that about who I follow, too? Oh. Really making me log in. This is crazy. I'm gonna end up locking myself out because I don't know my password by heart. Ah, fuck. Nah, I'm not gonna keep. Alright. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pause this real fast and look his shit up. Yeah, I found it, but they definitely made it difficult. Now, how do I fucking? I don't know if I can actually. Now I don't know if I can post it. Oh my god, I'm gonna kill myself. Chat viewing options. Why can't I type something into the chat from my phone? This is insane. Alright, well, the point is I found his Instagram and it is literally just Will underscore Torres. Why that didn't work, I don't know. No idea. Yes, just one L. Shannon left because he probably has enough money to be doing something. Yeah. Yeah, he's popping, bro. He can do whatever he wants. But yeah, Instagram was definitely being weird with his account because even when I typed it in, bro, like I looked through my own followers and he didn't pop up. And then I had to go in my messages and click on the message and uh and that's how I got his account name. I, but I finally got it. Here, I put the direct link to it. Whew, it was a lot of work, y'all. Hard for me to find Spanish YouTubers I like. Well, what are you looking for in a YouTuber? I might be able to help you. It I always just go with the like the content that I like, and then you find the person from there. Because there's always someone making the content that you want to see. Always. So I'll wait for you to tell me what you like. Met him in. Are you saying San Antonio or South America? No, I did not meet him in San Antonio. He is born and raised in Colombia, bro. That's hard to say because the ones I found just talk about whatever. Do you watch YouTubers in English? Like what do you watch in English? Like besides this? Well, I mean, okay, if you wanted to watch something like this, I could find you people that just like talking to the void about like a variety of subjects. I like watching interviews better, but there's a few people that I watch that kind of do this format where they just put up the camera, just interact, maybe not interact. Sometimes they have like um what you call it. It would be like if I just told y'all like, yo, all these questions that y'all have had in the chat, just send them to me, and then I'll make a video responding to all those questions. So they kind of do it like that. But I'll send you a couple of ones that I like. I don't really know what your level of Spanish is. Some of the ones I watch are a little bit crazy, a little bit hard to understand if you're not there yet. Anyway, vlogs, Mike Ben. Wait. Do you want people that are speaking in Spanish, or do you want people that are speaking in English about learning Spanish? Because that changes things. I'll take both at this point. I'm desperate. All right, you know what? Let me look through. It's actually on discount, so let me look through my subscriptions. Who am I subscribed to? Do you like sports at all? There's one guy I follow. He kind of, I would say he's like the Andrew Tate of Cuba. He kind of just like talks about toxic masculinity, but like in a good way, and like he just kind of talks about American culture versus his culture, and he hates communism with a passion. So he's always talking about that. Let's see. Do, 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 do. Okay. Mikey backstage. Nah, I don't think you would like that. You're into tech. Are you into cryptocurrency and finance stuff? Because I got a channel that talks about that stuff. He kind of sets up like this, and he kind of talks into the void about investments, tech, all kind of weird stuff. If you like it, I'll send it. If not, I'll keep going to where I was gonna go. Cause I be watching all kinds of stuff, man. So I really could more on the dev side for me. Okay. I don't follow a lot of people that talk about that because I don't know about that, and I probably wouldn't understand it in English either. But don't you worry. I'm currently looking for these guys that I watch. Clearly, they have not put out a video in a little while because I'm just looking in chronological order. Let's see. They put out a video once a week. What day do they do it? Oh, I missed a comment. I know life to the last recommendation you gave me. What was it? I don't even remember. Oh, Marshall Powell. You watched all that, bro? Okay, I'm getting closer because I remember. That was great. Okay, so I mean, if you like that, I see what you're into. You know, I'll send you this guy. If you're at, I feel like if you're at B2, you could get something out of these. He's kind of like I guess you would call him a influencer, but he'll do like dubs. So he'll take a movie like he's from the coast of Colombia, so he'll take like Deadpool and he'll do like Deadpool Costeño, and then he also does videos like where he talks into the void about everything, and he likes watching Mexican shows, so he'll pull up Mexican shows and talk about them. All right, let me send you this one, and then I'll get you some more. Yeah, I always wondered where Marshall was at with his Spanish. I could never tell because, like you said, he's super chill, and I think like when I'm out in the world and I'm not doing something like this, I'm like that too. I only speak like one or two sentences at a time in English or Spanish. So like you wouldn't be able to get a lot out of me. So I would always think that I would be like, I can't tell how much Spanish he speaks because he don't talk that much. But then I got a few glimpses in conversation he had. I was like, oh yeah, no, he's good, bro. Like, his Spanish is good. There was one point where he was doing like vlog every day too. That was dope. Super dope. All right, let me go back. You watched those too? There's this dude I watched called Pop Gold. He's from Argentina, so he's a little bit difficult to understand. But he does all these interviews with people that either went through stuff or they have conditions like dwarfism, bipolar, uh, I don't know, some lady had two vaginas, just mad random stuff, bro. And I like his channel because he also has like a second channel that's a psychology channel where he has this lady that does like profiling. So she'll pull up like movie characters, like the dude from No Country for Old Men, and do like a 30-minute analysis on what he was probably dealing with and stuff like that. If you want that channel, I'll give you that channel. I don't know if you like stuff like that. Like the last video he made, he interviewed someone. Vivir con estrés postraumático por abuso sexual. So, living with PTSD from sexual abuse. He interviewed someone about that. So, it's a little heavy, but that's the kind of stuff he does. Good interviews. You learn a lot, honestly. It's crazy. The one channel that I came here to look for, I just don't know when's the last time they made a video. Yeah, it is like Software Underbelly. Yeah. You're right. Definitely, like I said, it's definitely heavy. If you didn't come into the video like knowing what you're watching, you'd be like, yo, it's not what I get on YouTube for, bro. But if you read the title, you'd be like, nah, there's no way. These dudes like fell off the map, bro. Those can be rough at times, yeah, for sure. Like I said, especially if you weren't aware of what you were gonna be watching, which can happen. Let's see this week. I'm gonna assume these dudes only put out one video a week, so I gotta be coming up on it soon. But these dudes are like 22 years old, bro. It's like a group of like 4 dudes, and they kind of just talk about whatever current events are going on. Like I'm sure they talked about that submarine. I haven't watched the one from this week yet, but I like listening to young people talk because you get way more slang and you learn way more stuff. This is pissing me off. Victor podcast? No, it's not that. Yo, why is it so much harder to do stuff on a laptop? Like on my phone, I would have found this already because I would just look through my list of channels that I'm subscribed to. But the way it's set up on a laptop, like I can only just go in chronological order. I can't actually just look through the list. Because if I saw their name, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's them. But right now, I'm actually having to look at the videos. We need to change that. Ah, Patabajo. Found it. I was definitely not gonna remember that name. I feel like they used to have a different name for their podcast. That's why. Alpha, Peso Pluma, Messi. So yeah, they do talk about sports sometimes, but I'm gonna send it to you anyways. They're cool. Cool. So you got that. I'll send you another one that's definitely a lot more difficult to understand. I'm gonna send you my favorite episode. Bipolar. It was just them talking about. It was just a bunch of girls that they brought on the show talking about experiences that they had with like quote unquote bipolar dudes, and that shit was hilarious. There was one story on there that I just think about, bro. I literally think about it anytime I'm in the car and I just bust out laughing, bro. I'm gonna just sum it up in English. But she basically said, like, this dude that she had been friends with for a long time, bro, hit her up and was like, yo, you trying to, like, get some Wendy's, whatever. They went to Wendy's and he just, like, pulled it out, bro, like, in the drive thru and told her, like, yo, you should do something with it. She was like, no, bro, like, we're friends. And, like, he was gonna take her home and he hit a pothole and he popped his tire, bro. And, like, he just started screaming. He's like, this is your fault. This is your fault. If you would have just blah, blah, we would still be in the Wendy's parking lot. And, like, he was screaming at the top of his lungs. And she said she was scared, but, like, she was laughing at it now because it's the past. And so, anytime I'm in the car, bro, I just hear her voice. I hear her voice going, "Esta fue tu culpa." Someone I know does that. They do what, bro? Take girls to Wendy's and just. What are you saying? You gotta put both y'all on the list. You better hurry up, Phil. I got 911 on standby right now. Yo, what? Which part, bro? All of it? What? Yo, speaking of which, Phil, did you know Xavier Downs, bro? Did you know him? You got it. Yeah, I'm calling 911, buddy. You did know Xavier Downs? Because I saw that article, bro. Like, I ran track with him, AAU, bro. Like, and I was like, what the fuck? Yo, this dude that I went to, well, I didn't go to the same high school as him. I ran track with him, AAU, in the summer. This dude, okay, not friends with him, but I know him. Now, I'm not gonna say he was my friend either, but I knew him when we were kids. Yo, this dude got arrested for doing a Uber Eats delivery. It was like not Uber Eats, but whatever it's called when it's groceries. I can't think of what it's called. He was doing a delivery, and then he got caught jerking off on the like at the front door, bro. Like Instacart, yes. Thank you. So he did the Instacart delivery, and then got caught jerking off on the front door, probably by like a Ring camera or something. But like the craziest thing was when I saw the article, I read it and it was like he got caught again doing it, and I was like, "What do you mean again, bro?" It was he got caught before doing the same thing, and I'm like, "How did he get hired at Instacart again? And why is he jerking off at people's front doors, bro? Like, what is going on?" I was like, I had no words, honestly, bro. I was just like, that is so weird, bro. That's beyond weird, bro. Hey, y'all, hold on one second. My mom texted me. It could be. Well, hold on. Him and this other dude. What other dude? He did the same thing. I'm gonna text my mom back, and I'll read your shit when I come back. It's normal in Florida. It was not important. Not important at all. Let's see. I've been out here for 2 hours. It's lit. Gidry. He basically did the same thing. I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know if it's like drugs or people are just really weird, bro. But when I see stuff like that, bro, I'm just like, I don't understand, honestly. I don't understand. What's the worst injury I ever saw in the gym? I haven't witnessed many injuries, bro. Especially because like they would like unless it's a freak accident, it's not gonna happen on my watch. Like you're not gonna do anything crazy while you're working with me. I literally won't let you. So, I've seen stuff like uncontrollable stuff. Like I've seen people like pull their hamstring while they're running. I've seen people like drop the bar on themselves, like doing snatches and stuff, but no one's been seriously hurt from it. Honestly, you get hurt worse. You get hurt worse when you do little dumb shit. Like, yes, I have a video of a guy on my IG dropping the bar. Exactly. And he walked away from that literally perfectly fine. In December, I hurt my knee really badly. And I was doing like the most simple movement ever with the lightest amount of weight. My knee just freaked out, bro. And that was it. And it took a couple months to get over it. But like all the craziest stuff I've done, bro, I've literally caught 374 pounds in a position I didn't want to catch it in. Like I cleaned it and I went like wider than I expected. Bam! Stand up, like, oh, like put the weight down. I feel fine. That day, bro, 154 pounds did me in, bro. I stood up and I was like, oh my God, bro. Like, I don't know what just happened, but something happened. That's just the nature of doing crazy shit, bro. Sometimes you just get got. But it still wasn't that serious. It wasn't like I couldn't walk or anything. I just knew I wasn't going to be able to train like I wanted to train for a couple of months. How do you get over the fear of failure, fear of rejection? Well, you got to figure out why you're scared. Figure out why you're scared, and I would go from there. So my answer would be already that like you have the wrong perception of failure or rejection. Failure, rejection to me is just feedback, man. Like it's just feedback. You could give anyone could just type a subject in right now. I'm just because I don't want to think of an example, whether it be like girls, whatever, and I'll tell you how you can use that as feedback instead of thinking of it like, oh, I got rejected, oh, I failed. Like anything you could think of, I will give you a better perspective on it. I will tell you how to turn it into a learning experience. First thing someone types in could be language, could be girls, could be money, could be whatever. But I'm gonna wait because I don't feel like selecting. I'm gonna wait for someone to give me a subject. Maybe it's something that you failed in or that you're scared to fail in. I have a lifelong injury from my fucking caught on the armrest. That's insane, bro. That's crazy. Very crazy. Well, no one gave me a subject. You get over your fear of failure and rejection by not getting out of bed in the morning. Well then you're failing at life. You're failing at getting out of bed in the morning. Damn. Damn. This guy sucks at getting out of bed. This is the worst get out of bed ever. Okay, you starting a business. You could look at it as I I'm scared of starting this business because like what if I put my money into this and I fail, right? But like I said, if we're using feedback or if we're using failure as feedback, for one, if you're if you're losing money, more money than you should lose at a certain time frame, right? Then your business is shitty. Like not trying to be funny, not trying to be like harsh, but it's shitty. If you're getting terrible customer reviews, if you're like if money is just blowing out and you're not getting any money, you're doing something wrong. That's just feedback, bro. It's like, what do I do to cure this? How do I stop losing so much money over here and how do I gain money over here? It's not something to be scared of. It's just something that's happening, right? Like you could say, I'm scared that all these people are not gonna like X product. Why? If they like it, change it. If you make shirts, right? You see this shirt right here? It's very simple. San Juan, Puerto Rico. It's got palm trees on it. If I made this shirt, which I didn't, and people were like, "Yo, this shirt sucks, bro. Like it's like the trees are ugly, bro." I'll be like, "Okay," and I'll make better trees. But I would like, there's no reason to be scared of people saying that they don't like the trees. Like you can just make better trees. There's no reason to get mad at them saying they don't like the trees. They don't have to like it, bro. If everyone says this shirt would be cool, if this, just change it. Just change it. And like obviously all of that stuff is easier said than done. But the point is there's no reason to be actually scared of it. And also everyone always thinks of the negatives when they think of possibilities. They think of all the stuff to be scared of instead of being like, I could get this, I could get this, I could get this. Because there's negatives to everything. Like I made the joke of him not getting out of bed. But it's true. Like you, let's just say you're scared of hurting yourself while you're walking, right? So you're like, I'm just not gonna get out of bed. Like you thought of the negatives of walking, but you didn't think of the negatives of staying in the bed, bro. Like you're gonna fucking get blood clots and die, bro. You're gonna get bed sores from never getting out of bed, and you're gonna die. You were trying to walk to improve your health, and you got scared, so you stayed in the bed and became super unhealthy. You should think of the negatives of not taking the course of action that you're gonna take too. So if you wanted to start a business because you think whatever, I might be able to create generational wealth for my family. I might be able to financially liberate myself, blah, blah, blah. I would also think, hey, by not taking this step, the negatives are I'm always going to think about what would have happened if I did it, which is going to haunt you. Two, you probably have no chance of creating that generational wealth. So you're like failing yourself as a person. I don't think you'll be failing to not create it, but I think you'll be failing to not try. So I would think about those things. I would think about the negatives on the other side too. None of it has to be fear, but I think you should think about it. That's really as much as I have to say about that topic. I don't really get crazy nervous about stuff. I don't really have like fears like that. I just always think like, bro, somebody else has to suck worse than I do. Pause. Like, someone else has to be worse at this. Like, whenever I went through basic training, whenever I did anything, I would always just be like, bro, literally like 100,000 people did this before me. And no sexist shit, but I would be like, literally 115-pound girls made it through this. Like, there's no way that I can't make it through this. So any like fears I have at that point, they like evaporate, right? Like yes, X amount of business owners fail every year. But I'm like, bro, like literally millions of people have run a successful business. Like there is a way for me to run a successful business, like for sure. And I think another thing that you can do to like ease your fears or anxieties is like have a fucking plan, bro. Talk to people that have done it before. Like I tell Planet Mula about Spanish, a lot of stuff sounds good, and it sounds good coming from people that haven't done this shit. Don't take advice from me about starting a business because I don't have a business. Technically, I do, but let's just say I don't. Talk to someone that has gotten to where you want to get to. If you talk to people that learn the second language or third language and they're actually like really fluent, they can talk and stuff, they all say the same shit. They all say, do this, do this, do this, talk to people, bam. All these people that cannot have conversations are telling you the easiest way is to do this. Get your level up on Duolingo and blah blah. Bro, I'm not listening to you. You can't talk. Like, why would I listen to you? So, if you have 100 people that have done the thing that you want to do, and they're telling you, "Hey, this is the best way to do it," like a lot of your fears are gonna be eased. Like they're like you're gonna be like, yo, these people know what they're talking about, and they told me this is the way to go about doing it, and it's gonna make you feel a lot better. Usually, fear comes from unknown stuff. You're just like, I have no idea what's gonna happen, but you would have an idea what was gonna happen if you talk to people that have done the thing that you're trying to do. So I watch a lot of. I'm not like a super business guy, but I do watch a lot of people that have gotten into business stuff, and the smartest thing a lot of those dudes do is they pay people, bro. Like straight up, let's just say like I'm a multimillionaire. You would send me an email and say, like, I know I'm taking up your time. How much do I need to pay you to have a conversation with me about getting my business started in this field? I'm not like that. So like I get people that message me all the time and they're like, I wanna be a trainer, I wanna be a strength and conditioning coach, like how do I go about doing it? Like what makes a good coach, what makes this, that and the other. And I just reply to people. But if I was like, let's just pretend I was like the greatest coach in the world. Like if you would message me and say, yo, I value your time. That can you tell me this information and tell me like what it would cost for you to tell me that information? These dudes are business dudes. So either they're gonna want the money or they're gonna value that you try to pay them for their time. Either way, you get the information that you want, whether you get it for free or you actually do have to pay for it. If I ask people to come on my podcast and I don't know them, I always start off with saying like, "Yo, how much does it cost to get your time? Like, I want to do a podcast. I'm willing to pay you to whatever, whatever." No one has ever made me pay them, but I understand that these are people with lives that might not want to sit around talking to me for an hour. So I'm like, all right, how much money you need to talk for an hour? Thanks. And the last thing, how do you stop worrying about other people's opinions of you? Uh, I think a lot of this, especially this topic, I think some of this stuff you have to do deep diving with yourself. I could like tell you some basic shit, but like you really need to find out like where that worrying stems from. You know what I'm saying? Like what went on in your childhood. I'm not telling you to get a therapist, but it might help if you have some serious stuff going on. Because like I said, a lot of this stuff like I don't think I can make you understand how much I don't care about what other people think. Like I couldn't even explain it well enough. And actually, like my wife helps me understand a lot of stuff that I don't understand. Cause like I'm not trying to like flex or nothing like that. But I had like a really good childhood. I had like no serious trauma. Like I had a good life, man. I had a good life. Everyone has rough stuff going on in their life, but overall, I had a really good life. And I had a good dad. And my dad taught me a lot about like being an individual and being a man. And so like a lot of confidence and self-esteem problems that people have, like I like genuinely had to like learn about, bro. Like I had to talk to people and have them explain to me how they feel, and I'm like, bro, that's crazy. I wouldn't even imagine that someone could feel like that. Like you can read stuff and it's like, oh, self-esteem is when you don't feel like this or when you feel like this about yourself. And I would literally read those words and I'd be like, what the fuck does that mean, bro? Like that doesn't sound real. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it didn't sound real to me. And so like me, like I said, meeting my wife and like getting like a real deal up close feel of like anxiety and stuff like that, like clinical anxiety and stuff like that shit was like, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty life changing for me, bro. Like, but anyways, back to the question. On a surface level, without like I said, without this side of therapy and stuff like that, on a surface level, for one, I would say these people don't know you, bro. And you shouldn't value the opinion of someone that doesn't know you. I value my dad's opinion. I value my mom's opinion. I value my wife's opinion. People that know me very well, they know my they know my intentions. They know my shortcomings. They know a bunch of stuff about me. But like you, for example, if you replied right now and said that advice was horrible, you're a fucking fake intellectual clown, I would just be like, okay, I don't know you. You don't know me. Like you don't know enough about me to form a real opinion. It's based on like some fraction of an image that you have of me. You haven't seen any of my personal life. You don't know what experiences I've been through. Like I talked about this a little bit earlier in here. Sometimes people tell me about stuff and they just assume that I haven't been through it or that I don't know about it, and I won't say anything. I'll just be like, "Oh, thanks for that." Like, fuck off. So, like I said, if that person that's telling me stuff that they think that I don't even know, if they told me that I was unintelligent or something, it would literally mean nothing to me. I'd be like, bro, you don't even know what I've been through. You have no idea what kind of life I've lived. You don't know what stuff I know about, what stuff I don't know about, like the things that I've done for people, the things that they've done for me, and whatever, whatever, you know? So I would think about that. I would think about, like I said, they don't know you. They don't know enough to have an opinion about you. So, like, what is the actual worry? Are you worried? Yeah, like, the other thing too is like, if it's definitely if it's not true. If it's not true, then it really doesn't fucking matter. And it probably isn't true because, like I said, they don't know you. Like, for instance, actually, I don't know your name. What's your name? I don't want to call you a fake name. See if I can see it on here. I don't know your name, but your name looks like Iggy, so I'm gonna call you Iggy for right now. You can tell me what your name is while I'm talking. Let's pretend, Iggy, that I'm like, I assume you don't have orange hair. You might have orange hair, but I'm assuming you don't. If you have orange hair, stop me here. If I tell you, Iggy, yo, you got the stupidest looking fucking orange hair I've ever seen in my life, what would you think? Like, you just be like, my hair's not even orange. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, it's literally wrong. No, it's not called red hair. I'm talking about actual orange hair. The point was I was trying to use a color of hair that he wouldn't have. There's a possibility that he's a redhead. So the point is, I'm saying something that's false, and you wouldn't care because it's just false, bro. Like, if you didn't have glasses on, and I was like, those glasses are ugly, you would just be like, are you insane, bro? Like what are you talking about? Like get out of my face. That's what you would think, right? I'm just saying like made up stuff. That's the same thing if I have an opinion about you based on nothing. If I call you stupid, it's not true. It's not true. Why do you care? You just I was like, bro, who are you? You don't know me. And you're wrong. You know what I mean? Me calling you stupid is the same thing as me saying your orange hair is ugly. Both of them are based on nothing really, you know? So that worry is not about what the other person is saying. Your worry is about something inside of you. You're worried that someone is gonna maybe think the same thing that you think about yourself. You know what I mean? Like I said, if somebody called me stupid, I probably would legitimately laugh. If anybody was in here like when that troll was in here the other night, like outrageous comments like legitimately make me laugh because I'm like, what is going on here, bro? Like I don't know. So usually the stuff that hurts, it either hurts because you care about the person or you care about the subject. If you're insecure about something, then it would hurt, maybe, right? If you're super skinny and I call you fat, there's only one way you would care. You would care if you thought you were fat. If you're actually super skinny and you look down and you're like, I'm 110 pounds, and I call you fat, you're just gonna be like, but if you think you're fat and I call you fat, now we got something, right? Same thing. If you got really high self esteem and you legitimately think you're a 10 out of 10, me calling you ugly doesn't matter. You won't care. You won't care if anyone calls you ugly. You'll care if your mom calls you ugly, maybe. You'll care if a girl that you're attracted to calls you ugly because you got like an expected outcome. Like you want this girl to like you. So her saying this thing affects you, right? But like I said, these people don't know you. They don't know anything about you. They might be able to tell you're ugly. I can't help that one. If they look at you and say you're ugly, it still comes down to whether you believe it or not. But like that was pretty surface level. So that one might just hurt. But anything like with your personality, your character, anything like that, which is more important than your looks to me. Like if you legit think I'm ugly, that's cool. You might actually think that. If you think I'm a bad person, you have no you have no basis to say that. You've not even been here. Even if you came to every single one of these lives and talked to me for 40 hours, 100 hours, that is like this much of my 31 years. I could do all the worst stuff on here and you still wouldn't have an accurate depiction of me. You would have seen me at my worst times. So your opinion still wouldn't matter, right? So hopefully that answer does something for you. I still don't know your name. So you're gonna be Iggy until I figure it out. Planet Moolah, you crack me up, man. Crack me up. Whoo! Iggy Azalea. I wonder what she's up to. I wonder if she's still using that fake accent. Planet Moolah, what time you think I should get off, man? 10:30? It's 10:20 right now. Think I should get off at 10:30? Should I get off at? My phone says there's 9 people in the chat, but I feel like there's not 9 people here. I could be wrong. Planet Moolah. The next time we talk, it's 12:30 there. Yeah, I figured it's pretty late. The next time we talk, bro, I need some forward motion. I need you to tell me that you message Will, which you should do. Either you message Will, or you message someone on italki, or you set up an appointment on italki. Because that's the other thing, too. Let me tell you something about italki if you don't know this. It says 9 over there. Where you live at again? You live in, I thought you said you lived in Indiana. It can't be 121 in Indiana, right? Let me tell you something about italki. They're providing a service. You're paying them, right? So let's pretend that I'm some dude and I live in Ecuador, right? My rate is $8 an hour. You're gonna hit me up. You're gonna schedule a class with me, right? Let's just say it's tomorrow. You go on italki, you look at my schedule, bam, there's an opening for 10 a.m. tomorrow. Bam, you click it. I did not know it was Eastern. So you click it, bam, we're in class 10 a.m. tomorrow. You get in the class, bro, like you can tell him like this is what I want to work on. This is what I want to do. So if you're like scared by the fact like that you might have a conversation, all you need to do is go on iTalk. The reason I like iTalki for other people, even though I've never used it, I go on there just to check. You can select what country the person's from, what level of English they have, what level of Spanish they have. Like you can customize all of this stuff and then still have a list of people. Get someone that's fully bilingual so you feel comfortable. Yeah, 30-minute trials too, exactly. It's a good app. That's why I always tell people. I'm like, bro, unless you like really are struggling financially and you can't afford to give up $5 or something, get off of whatever app you're on and just get on italki. Put fully bilingual on there, 5-star English, 5-star Spanish. Uh, get someone within your price range, and just and get on there and tell them what you want, bro. And if you really don't like them, just move on to the next person. Like you got no attachment to this person, but you can fully customize it. You can say, hey, I'm not ready to talk yet. I want to learn this. Can you grade my pronunciation or help me with my pronunciation? I'm not ready to have full conversations yet. Something like that. It's still gonna be better than you practicing alone, because, like I said, you have no one to correct you. If you think about like how little kids talk, like little kids are stupid, right? Like little kids say like I'm 3 years old, and like they only get past that stage by talking to adults, like either through like harsh corrections where you're like it's not free, it's three. Remember, it's three, and they're like free, no three, or literally just over time, like sometimes like your brain isn't linked up to your mouth yet. That's why all kids like make those mistakes. Like you literally don't have like the structures to do it yet. Um, and so over time they hear people saying it the right way, and unless they have a speech impediment, over time they get closer and closer until like over years they're able to make the sounds just like us. But if you imagine one of those kids that says free and heal and stuff like that, if they were left to their own devices and they just like worked on English themselves, they would still sound like that, bro. Like there's no reason for them to not sound like that. You have to be around other people that are doing the right thing for you to get it. So to be honest, like when people have those like thick gringo accents, like to me, I feel like that's how it happens. Because if you were learning by ear, it will be hard to sound like that, because you would literally just be saying what people around you are saying, like, and there's no way for you to like be so far off. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're just not trying. Edison used to say Gamote control. Yeah, that kind of stuff is normal, bro. I remember like I used to say crazy stuff, and like it becomes like a not a nickname, but it becomes like a trademark. Like my little sister used to say Bamote. So my dad, like I don't know, probably till my sister was like 12 or 15 or some shit, bro. My dad would be like, "Hey, can you hand me that Bamote?" It was just like a running joke for like the rest of her life. Or like, wow, what was another one? What was the other one? I can't think. It was another one though. But like, yeah, little kids just say stupid stuff. I usually do a couple trials to see who I like. I've had some duds. Yeah, that happens. Duds like they weren't interested. Nah, maybe not. Well, I can let him answer it. That's funny. Okay, so he said what I was gonna say. They just didn't teach the way that he liked it, and like I said, that's fine. Like you are paying for a service, you can say like that's not what I want. Like if I got on italki and someone was trying to do grammar lessons with me, I'll be like, bro, this is not what I'm paying for. So if you're not trying to have like a real deal conversation, I'm gonna move on to the next person because like the same way you're paying for a service, they are providing a service. They can say, "This is the way I do things," or like, "This is what I'm here for. I'm here to teach people the ABCs. I'm not trying to have an advanced conversation with you." Just something like that, and you can just say, "Okay, well, I'm moving on then." My teacher I've been with for a year stopped his conversation and talked about my drum set behind me for 30 minutes. Felt real. Yeah. So that's why, like I said, I kind of discovered it by accident. But like I said, getting with Will on the conversations was like the best thing I ever did for my Spanish, bro. Cause like I said, I just realized how much stuff I couldn't say. And kind of like you just said, bro. Like in my head, I'll be like, this is what I'm coming. I'm coming to the conversation with this news article today. Like I would be planning it, but I wouldn't tell him I was planning it. So in my head, I'll be like, I'm just gonna bring it up. I'm gonna be like, oh, did you see this news article today? And blah blah blah. And I'm like, I got this conversation scripted out. I'm gonna be flowing today. And just like you said, I'll get in there and he'll just be like, oh, like you got braids, and I'll be like, fuck. I was not ready for that, bro. And I'll be like, I don't know how to say like, yeah, I just got my braids done or something like that. So then I will just blank out, bro. And like I said, that's the kind of feedback you need. Like, well, yeah, no, I know how to say it now. I'm saying at that time, this was like 3 years ago, bro. But yeah, that's the kind of feedback that you need. Um, when you're learning, you need to know like what you can't say so that you can work on it. You know what I mean? But yeah. That's exactly how my boy is. Like whatever I would want to talk about on the phone, we're not gonna talk about that, bro. He'll see something in the background. He'll just be like, "Hey, yo, I didn't even know this, that, and the other." Like we'll have a completely different conversation. Even if he got on the phone and he was like, "So this is what I want to talk to you about today." We won't talk about that because he'll get distracted by like something I have on my TV, and he'll be like, "Oh, bro, you need to watch this. And if you haven't read about this, first read this and then watch the show." And so like, but it's a real conversation. That's the point. Like in real life, you get sidetracked by stuff, and you end up not talking about whatever you were talking about. I do it all the time out here. I'll be saying something, I see a comment, psh, gone, bro. Matter of fact, I feel like I was talking about something before I started talking about this. I lost it, bro. Is there a different word for dreadlocks in Spanish? I don't think they would care to distinguish. Um, People like in Puerto Rico and Colombia, the people that I know, they say rastas for actual dreadlocks, whereas they would say trenzas for braids, or even like it's tough. But like I would say like even in English, bro, like if you're not inside a culture, bro, like bro, I be going to work with these braids in my head, and people be like, "Your dreads look good, man." And I'll be like, "Thanks." I'm not gonna be like, "Ah, they're not called dreads, they're called braids." I'm like, I don't have time for this, bro. I just say thanks and like keep it pushing. Yes, it does come from Rastafari, but yeah, that's what most people in Spanish call them. Uh, yeah, like anyone that I've ever met that has referred to that, to refer to dreads in Spanish has always said Rasta. So, like I've never um, I've never heard another name for them. But like I said, it's one of those things where like so few people have them that in itself makes it um, a weird concept. Just like I said in English, most people that have them don't call them dreads. They call them locks, and they prefer not to be called dreadlocks. Most people that I know that have them, they be like, bro, don't call them dreadlocks, and I'll be like, cool. So even that, like I said, it's such a small group of people that it's just a difficult conversation or a difficult topic, I should say, not a difficult conversation. Hey, but what part of Argentina is your teacher from? And does he talk to you with Vos, or does he talk to you with like tu or usted or what? And I'll wait for you to answer that to ask the follow up question that I'm really thinking in my head. After 13 years, I don't care. Oh yeah, Phil has dreadlocks. Dreadlocks. Phil got long locks too. His joint crazy. Did you ever care, Phil? Did you ever like say like, oh, don't call him that or something like that? Or what's the craziest thing someone's ever said? I know people have said someone has said braids to you before, right? Cordoba teaches in neutral, but he made a podcast recently. And I was like, who the hell is that? Wait, what's his podcast? I'm gonna listen to that shit, bro. You know that Nicki Jam song, the original video is wild back on reggaeton. Yeah, I don't know if you know this. I don't know how much you know about Nicki Jam, but Nicki Jam, like you said, that's when it sounded like reggae, right? Because that shit came from Panama, blah blah blah. But Nicki Jam used to pretend like he was Jamaican. He was in Puerto Rico because he had came from Boston. You know, he was raised in Massachusetts, and then he moved to Puerto Rico when he was I think he was like 10 years old or so, and he he would pretend he was Jamaican while he was making that kind of music, and like I gotta find like a podcast clip. If you find me like on some other social media, I'll send it to you. But he used to just like booyaka booyaka blah, 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 blah. And he wouldn't be saying anything, and they'll be like, "Yo, that's crazy," because he was in like the heart of Puerto Rico where they only spoke Spanish. They weren't really bilingual at the time. Um, and he would just make up mad random sounds, and people would be like, "Yo, that Jamaican kid be spitting fire, bro." So that was like part of the reason like he got a lot of attention and like took off because he would pretend he was Jamaican, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. One of my, I'm gonna send you a song. You might know it, you might not. It's one of the original uh like right when that sound came from Panama, like los originales, ellos vienen y van. Right when that sound came from Panama, it was still like you said, it was still that old sound. And if you listen to this song, bro, one of the first ever songs in that genre, you would, until he started speaking Spanish in that song later, you would just be like, yeah, it's like some reggae Jamaican song because he's speaking in English and he's like, I'm not about to do it, but yeah, he's doing that, and then he starts going off in Spanish because that's how it is in Panama. They have like the Caribbean English and the Caribbean Spanish versus like regular English and Caribbean Spanish. So it's super interesting. Talking about Jamaica, I like agua de Jamaica. Have you ever tried it? Yes. Funny story, since I don't think my wife's up in here. I remember, I remember we were drinking some one day, and I was like, "Yo, it's mad funny that they just call this like Jamaican water." I'm like, just because, like I think it's hilarious. And she was like, "Wait a second," and I saw the wheel spinning, bro. She like realized what she had been saying like this whole time. She never thought about it. And I was like, they could just call it hibiscus like everyone else, but it's cooler to just say Jamaican water. But that's something we talked about before. Like when you're a native speaker or something, right? You don't be thinking about the shit you're saying. Like I said, it's just a concept, and you're just saying words to express the concept. So most people never think about where the stuff that they're saying comes from. They don't think about the etymology of what they're saying. Like so, even though he teaches me neutral, I still picked up on a regional thing from him. Argentinians don't like to use haber for have you seen. They'll use the preterite. Give me an example of what they don't like to use, and give me an example of how they actually say it. Because like Argentina is hella close to Colombia, so it could be that. I don't know if it's something that I would say or not say unless I see it. One thing I noticed is that Mexicans use ver and mirar different than South Americans. Like sometimes like yeah, sometimes when they use it I'm like, oh I would have never used mirar for that whatever, that subject or that thing that happened. But that's just it's normal. Everyone in different places uses different stuff. Oh shit, I just saw your thing, Phil. That can't be all your real hair. Your braids look cool, man. That's hilarious. That is hilarious, bro. I'm waiting to see the difference between. You said they don't like to use haber for have you seen. I'm guessing you're saying they don't like to say has visto, blah, 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 right? And you're saying they use the predator. The thing is, so I would say to them, have you seen Iron Man? Has visto Iron Man? And I would get corrected to viste Iron Man. Oh, okay. Yeah, that doesn't look crazy to me. But like I said, it could be maybe is it I don't know if that's like very Argentinian. Maybe that's like South American because I can't say I can't say for certainty that I wouldn't say I was beast though. But I definitely would say beast whatever. But no, I get what you're saying because it feels a little more right to say has visto Iron Man. Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing too, man. The hardest part about something being your second language is that people will correct you instead of just saying like that's just the way they talk. Like no one's gonna correct me in English. You know what I mean? Even if I say something totally different than them. Like I was talking about the new dialect coming out of South Florida. Well, like one side of my family's from Louisiana, and so it's real normal for us to say making groceries, right? It's not really normal in the rest of the country, but no one's gonna stop me in the middle of my sentence and say it's not making groceries. It's what do people say? What do other people say? It's not doing groceries. What do y'all say? I can't even think of what the normal thing is to say. Getting groceries, maybe. Getting groceries. Okay. Planet Moolah says getting groceries. Perfect. No one's gonna stop me in the middle of my sentence and say, "Hey, it's getting groceries. It's not making groceries," because like people know I'm from the South. They're just gonna assume that like, that must be something where he's from to say making groceries. But when people know that you're learning a language, they will stop you. And like it could be a regionalism that you picked up from the country that you learned the language in, and they'll be like, "That's not how you say it," and you're like, "Bro, literally everyone that I learned from says it like this, so that is how they say it." But like they might even argue with you, bro. They'll be like, "No, well, you got that wrong. That's not how you say it," and you're just like, "I don't care. I don't care." I think it's part. I think that's like part of the reason that like I like talking to like Caribbean speakers just because like I know I'm not gonna be like off base with them. Like I'm not gonna say anything where they're like, "Oh, that's weird that you said that," because like they all say the same thing. But yeah, it's pretty normal. Pretty normal. And connecting those two things together, like I was just saying about native speakers not knowing what they're saying and it not mattering so much. This dude that I know that is learning Spanish. I'm not gonna get too specific because he might one day see this. He watches my videos sometimes, but he's learning Spanish. And he was trying to understand uh like había versus like has, right? Había visto or like había vivido versus like has vivido, whatever. So I was gonna help him by telling him, "Hey, bro, it's the same thing. We do the same thing in English. This is real life, bro. I'm gonna tell you exactly how I said this to him and exactly what he said back to me. I said, bro, it's the same thing. If I said I had lived in Germany for 5 years, do I still live there or did I live there in the past?" And he was like, "You had lived in Germany for 5 years?" And he was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "So you still live there?" And I was like, "What? No. Like, no." And I was like, "Okay, okay. If I say I have lived at my apartment for 8 years, what does that mean?" And he was like, "You lived there 8 years ago." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, but this is over. This conversation is over. Like you don't know your base. You don't know your own language, bro. So I can't like try to explain some grammar shit to you in a second language." But the thing is, he doesn't need to know, bro, because the person that he's talking to is gonna understand. If he was talking to me and he said, "Yeah, the apartment I live in, like I had lived there for 8 years," I'll be like, he clearly meant to say half, and like I wouldn't think twice about it. But he doesn't understand what he's saying. Whatever, I know what he's trying to say. I would never think about it. But in the second language, somebody's gonna be like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, let's backtrack because they're gonna want to make sure that you're being understood. Whereas, like I said, we're both native language. We're both native speakers of this language. So I just wouldn't care to step in. I'm not about to give you a grammar lesson when I don't know you. You know what I mean? I just be like, whatever. You never learned the difference between have and had. And like, unfortunately, my language partner is Argentinian as well, so I don't get much of it at practice. I think. Let me think. I think it's useful I think it's useful in situations like what I just described. If you're asking someone, have like has vivido aquí mucho tiempo, blah blah, something like that. It's useful when you're talking about the past until now, because you could like just say, you could just talk in the present tense, or you could just talk in the past tense, but it feels like a little gap. Like, but outside of that, like if you're talking about like have you watched something, have you seen this, like it's like it wouldn't really matter which one you use, but for the past into the present, for a situation that might have changed, that is when I think it's like I would prefer to use that just to make sure um, just to make sure that we're both understanding the same thing. You get what I'm saying? And I definitely do not be knowing the grammar terms. So when you put preterite and imperfect and all that stuff, I'm taking like a 80% guess. Most of the time I do know it, but sometimes it's like, ooh, imperfect. I'm like, ooh, pretty sure I know what it is. Versus like if you said a word, I'll be like, oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, past into the present, like I said, for a situation that might have changed. If we like we're talking about, did you see Iron Man? Like it didn't change. Like either you saw it or you didn't. But like I said, living situations or maybe food situations, cause like I would say this applies to English too. If I say did you eat, it's a little bit different than I say have you eaten, right? Because if I say have you eaten, I want to know like have you eaten, like it's kind of like sometime in this space to where you are not hungry anymore. But if I say like did you eat today? Yes, I ate today 12 hours ago, so I'm hungry right now, right? So like technically it's the same question, but technically it's not. But that's the beauty of language. Like there's a bunch of different ways to say shit, and you can say it however you want to say it to try to get to the point that you want to get to. So I didn't know my own language until about a year ago. Yeah, man, you really learn a lot about English by learning another language. That's a great way, Planet Moolah. If you're still here, that's a great way to pick some stuff up too, bro. If you watch some English learning videos, you will learn a lot about English and you will learn about a lot about Spanish at the same time. I watch people learn English and I'm just like, I didn't know that. I know it by heart just because I speak the language, but I didn't know like there was a rule for it, or I didn't know it gave people so much trouble, or just whatever. You know what I mean? Like I talked about maybe last video or the video before that, when my guy asked me when to say how much versus how many, and I was like, fucking no, bro. Like, you just know. Like, you just literally know. I'm not gonna say how many weight is this. I'm gonna say how much weight is it. But like, I had to try to think of a rule to explain it to him to that. But I was like, I don't fucking know, bro. And eventually, I came up with something. But the fact was, I had nothing, bro. I just knew. Like, I was like, yeah, bro. Like, cause like whatever I came up with at first, it didn't fit everything. I think I said like if it was multiple things, then you had to say how many. But then, like I said, he was just like, so why wouldn't it be how many weight is this? And I was like, nah, dog. Like, nah, nah. So I think the thing I came up with is like if it was countable. Was it? If it was countable, like how many plates are there? Because you can count it. Whatever. The point is, you can see how difficult that shit is, even for me right now. I'm just like, bro. You just need to talk more. You just need to say it wrong so somebody will be like, nah, it's how many. Nah, it's how much. And you'll figure it out. I was explaining Puerto tener for getting food and how it's bad to my native buddy yesterday, and he never noticed that. It was a fun talk. Yeah, English is very like person based or like action based. Like, can I do this thing? Or like, I don't know how to say it actually, but whatever. Spanish is the opposite. So it's like, can you give me this thing? It's like, yeah, can I have some food? That's how we would say it, but it doesn't. That's not how you do it in Spanish. Like I said, that's a tough thing to explain. It's just something you got to get experience with. You'll know when you go up in the restaurant and ain't nobody saying that shit, or the waiter gets thrown off when you say it. Like, um, and like, yeah, that's something you could learn in a book for sure, but it might be something that you don't even think to look up. Like, you just because you can't know what you don't know, right? So you would just assume like I know how to say can I and I know how to say have, so I know how to order. Yeah, can I have some? And they're just like, yeah, bye. Yeah, and that's something that's uncomfortable for English speakers for sure. Like basically making a demand. Like it's not necessarily a demand, but just saying like give me this. Well, I guess you could say that as a demand, but like give me this or you give me this. Like that's super uncomfortable for us, right? Because we talk like very like neutral. Like, can I have this? Would it be possible for me to order the blah blah blah? Like you can't just be like, yeah, give me a hot dog, because they're gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking to, bro? Like you can get up out the shop right now. Like you know what I mean? So it's a little weird. It's a little weird, but it's just something that you just gotta get used to. And honestly, I mean, I'm sure you're at that stage. Like after you do it so many times, it doesn't feel weird. Like yeah, or like que me cuentas. Yeah. Exactly, bro. Like it's it's just different. It's just different, but that's the dope part about it. Like you learn a totally different culture through the language, and vice versa. Like yeah, you learn a lot, man, and you learn a lot about your own culture. And you see like why things are the way they are, why we talk the way we talk. Like it's dope, man. I actually love it, man. I love it. So I'm trying to think of some other weird concepts. There's some weird concepts specific to Colombia, but they don't apply to like Spanish as a whole. But like, I mean, you probably heard it before. Like, and they don't really say like me das. They say me regalas. Like, which can definitely throw people off if you're not in Colombia. Because they're like, I'm not giving you shit. Like, I'm not gifting it to you. Like, but but yeah, definitely different culture. I talked about it on here before too. Like gossiping is pretty much 100% negative in English, but it's not in Spanish. Like there's cool ways to gossip. There's fun ways to gossip in Spanish, or like you could be like a proud gossiper in Spanish, but you can't really be a proud gossiper in English. Like it's automatically bad. A la orden. Yeah. I guess that one is not. I don't know. That one's not that crazy, cause like I don't know. I guess it depends on where you're from. But sometimes people say like at your service, even if they are like trying to be funny or whatever. But they might be like, yeah, blah blah blah, at your service, and you're just like, yeah, whatever, bro. Can you give me my stuff? Um, but yeah, lots of different stuff, culturally and whatever else. Spaniards think it's weird to say ordenar comida. They say pedir. Yeah, but that's yeah. Colombians would think that was weird too. You wouldn't say ordenar for sure. I don't even think. I don't think they would say that in Puerto Rico either. I want to kind of look that up now. I wonder, is that another country battle thing? I definitely would have thought Petty. Hmm. So I'm in a thread right now where they're talking about it. It looks like they're saying the opposite of what you said though. All the Spaniards in this thread. Let me make sure before I'm gonna get to the end of it. Basically says all of Latin America, besides Mexico, says pedir. But Spain, all of them are saying they say ordenar, which is weird because just like everyone in Latin America in this thread is saying to them, ordenar would be like to actually order, to put things in order. Yeah, they're saying the opposite. But I will say, nah, when I think about it in Puerto Rico, they do that too. I really just think it has something to do with your proximity to English. Why I don't know why for Spain, but a lot of things that Mexican Americans do, Puerto Ricans would do too, just because. Um, like kind of like I was talking about with the South Florida thing, like you end up hearing both. You hear order, ordenar, and you might whatever. It's not crazy to do it because the people will understand what you're saying. Whereas like maybe in a place in Colombia where no one speaks English, they're gonna be like, "What are you saying, bro? Like, why are you saying ordenar for this?" Um, but like I said, Puerto Rico's crazy, so that doesn't really mean anything. They be saying all kinds of stuff. But the other thing too is like we've talked about some like you could, let's just use Spain for example. You could be in a region in Spain and everyone in your region does the weird thing. Everyone in your region could do the weird thing that no one else in Spain does. And because you've only lived there and you're Spanish, you're gonna be like, in Spain we do this. And then that would lead you to believe that in Spain everyone talks like that. So that always happens on like accent videos, bro. Someone like let's just say for example, I make a video and I'm like, hey, in Puerto Rico, they changed the R into an L, so they don't say hablar, they say hablar. Bro, 50 people are gonna comment on that video and say, not all of us in Puerto Rico talk like that. Some of us went to college and in my town in San Juan, we actually say the R harder than everyone else in the world. And it's just like, bro, like sorry, like you can't get everyone's experience in one sentence. Like that's just not how it works. So you never know, man. I don't know. I have no experience with Spaniards and those two words. So oh, I got one. Did this with a native buddy and we had fun with it. It's the redundant le for the sentence. I hit him using golpear and pegar. Bro, my bro, he gets so mad about that redundant le, bro. Like he gets angry when people. He's like, you have to use it. You have to. Right, that would be like saying, I would like to organize some food. Right. That's what it sounds like to me too. But that's why I backtrack a little bit though, because like I said, if a Puerto Rican said that, it wouldn't sound like that to me. But only because I know that they say so many things that are based on English. So, uh, yeah. But yeah, that was definitely interesting. There's always little word clashes like that. Right, apparently if you want to say vote for him, it would be Botae. Good, 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 good. Um, are you telling me? I'm not sure what you're telling me in these sentences. Oh, you're just saying regular stuff. I thought you were like bringing up like country debates or something like that. Yeah, I used to. I think like when I first started learning Spanish, that would throw me off. But I don't think it throws me off anymore. And I think it's reasonable too because like it's like I was kind of saying about ordering the food and stuff. Like in English, stuff happens, but in Spanish, stuff happens to somebody. So, like for the most part, if an action is happening, like even if you, like if I like something, me, me gusta eso, right? Even if I don't say that, me, it's implied. Like so, it's not that weird to see right? Or I or whatever. Especially like when you learn the personal blah blah blah, which I didn't learn for a really long time actually. I kind of just like I said like through talking, I just would pick up like okay like anytime I say I do something to a person like I have to put but like I didn't know there was like a reason. I didn't know it had a name. So like I learned a personal like super late. Like I mean I'm not gonna say it wasn't that long ago, but it was I would say like within the last year and a half is when I actually saw that it was a thing. Before I just knew, but I kind of would question in my mind. I'm like, if I was talking about an object, I'm like, do I say al thing or do I say ah? Do I say Allah blah 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 or do I just say la? Like And then, like I said, I figured out that when it's a person, when it's personal, you always fucking put the I and like not for objects. So for the Samuel Garcia thing, what am I looking at here? Por? Is that what's supposed to stand out here? Context is so powerful for me now. Powerful for me now. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, and like I said, man, learning all that stuff through conversation and like in real life definitely makes all of that different for you. Cause you could read about like you could read about what a word means and it still won't mean anything to you or it won't mean a lot. Like I used to wonder, like I don't even think twice when I say it now. Like if I say like todo bien por acá, like I used to hear people say por acá, or they'll say like vivo por aquí, right? And I'll be like, why the fuck they saying por? Like they don't, you don't have to say that. You can say vivo aquí. But like over time and through reading, because whenever I get like a, what's the word? I say like a hunch. Whenever I get a hunch about something, I go try to find out stuff about it. So at some point, I'm like, you know what? Por is like a, it's like an around type of thing. And I got a hunch about it, and I looked it up, and I realized that like por meant like nearby, right? Like around. But in the past, like I said, I just knew. I was like, yeah, people say por acá, like they say por acá. Uh, or they would say like they would ask me like, "Vives por aquí?" Like I'm like, wow, like, what the fuck are they saying por, bro? Like I don't get it. But then, like I said, you learn it. El día de hoy. Hey yo, funniest shit ever. This dude I know. Where's he from? He's from Guatemala. Like he was thinking hoy en día in his head, right? Because English is his second language. And it was on a podcast too. I kind of felt bad because I was like, damn, like it's live, like there's no way to correct it. But he was talking about something, and he was like, yeah, and and today and day, and I was like, today and day, and I was like, oh, like okay, like I see what he did there. But that shit sounded so weird in English, bro. I was like, nah, player, that don't work. That don't work, player. Chiki 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 chiki. Samuel García, senador por Nuevo León. Would be Samuel Garcia is a senator from Nuevo León. Okay, I have to look at the previous one now because I didn't. I guess I didn't see it or something. I don't see. Oh, because you put senator. I mean, even if you said oidea, if you tried to translate it to English, it still wouldn't work. You have to say it the English way. You can't. You can't do a direct translation. I love hearing stuff that gets brought over by English learners. Yeah, that's just funny, and it helps you. Like I said earlier, like it can help you understand Spanish better, especially if it's like a common mistake that Spanish speakers make in English. You're like, clearly, this is how they say it in Spanish. Like, shit, I can't really think of any examples besides like that one, but um, it comes from Latin. Yeah, I don't know anything about Latin, bro. I was just talking about the translation. Like, it doesn't work in English. Where's that ubicated? That's funny. Oh, you know what my boy from Colombia does? You just reminded me. He like, bro, his English is pretty good, but the one thing that he just like can't get over is that idioma is not idiom. And so, bro, like in great English, he'll just be like, yeah, like you're doing great. It's tough to speak another idiom, and I'm like, well, it's language, bro. And he's like, yeah, language. But he always says idiom. Like it's really been like 3 years now. He still says idiom. Where's that ubicated? uh, Rolando, we don't know Latin, bro. We do not know Latin. We're never gonna learn Latin or speak it. You might. We're never gonna do that. Thought I heard my dog. I don't see him. Where is Rome is a sentence that I will never ever use in Latin. I probably won't use it in English or Spanish either. But I'm definitely not using it in Latin. Damn, it's 11:15. That is crazy. Oh, what's my battery at? Damn, I've done 200 minutes of live, bro. That is crazy. I think I'll do 5 more minutes. I'll get off here at 11:20. I like explaining slang in my exchanges. My favorite part. Bro, I actually don't like explaining slang because it usually doesn't make any sense, bro. Oh my God. You said yes, sir. Check this out. Yes, sir. But nah, this shit is so funny, bro. So my Venezuelan friend, like, he's like hella Venezuelan. Like, he came over here like not even a year ago. And I just thought of it because you said yes, sir. But he always says like, like Dímelo papi, or he says like not in that accent. It's more his accent, but he's around Puerto Ricans all day, and so he says si papi, or si papa. And bro, he's been working on his English, bro. This dude, I said something to him, and he messaged me back, yes, daddy. And I was like, no, bro. Like, you can't say that in English, bro. I was like, don't ever say yes, daddy to another dude, bro. Like, but it was just funny because I couldn't explain why, bro. Like, he was like, why not? And I was just like, nah, dog. Like, I'm like, it has like a weird, like, sexual connotation. He's like, how's that sexual? And I was like, I don't know. Like, it just is, bro. Like, don't say yes, daddy to me again. And definitely don't say that to no random dudes because you might get into a fight, bro. Like, and he was just like, I was like, bro, you're gonna understand it in the future, and you're gonna look back and laugh, but just don't say that no more. And it was hilarious, bro. Yeah, I couldn't let that one slide. Like usually, I try not to like when people are learning something. I try to do like the least amount of corrections because you don't want to like make it discouraging, right? When someone's just like constantly like wrong. But that one, I was like, no, bro, we gotta nip that one in the bud today, bro. Like, don't ever say that again. That shit was hilarious, bro. I just remember I was laughing so hard. I was like, yes, daddy. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, Caribbean Latinos might swing both ways. Nah, not even, man. They're different for sure. Like one of my soldiers, man. This dude, bro. I was like Lopez, show me your hands real fast, cause I like kept seeing flickering, and I was like, bro, do you have nail polish on? And he was like, yeah, but like, no, it's like he's like, it's not nail polish, it's nude. And I was like, the fuck is nude? He was like nude nail polish, like it's like clear. And I'm like, so you got nail polish on? And he's like, yeah, like And I'm like, dog, that's weird, bro. Like, I don't care. I'm not like judging you, but I'm like, that is definitely weird. But like, my barber does that too, bro. He gets his eyebrows done, gets the nude polish, gets his toes done. They be getting manicures, pedicures, bro. But like, they're straight. They're just different, bro. Very, very different. That is something I ain't never gonna be necessarily doing. Like, I don't care to get my eyebrows done. I don't care to get no pedicures. I got a pedicure one time and I was like, this ain't for me, man. It's just not. I don't have it. I don't have nothing against it if people want to do that, but they definitely care about their appearance a little bit more, just a little bit more than me. But yeah, I think that was the funniest Spanish to English mistranslation I heard. And I mean, there's like just like the typical, like my barber. I don't think he's ever said an expression right before. I know what expressions he be talking about, but it'd be like one word that like it'd be like ooh, like you almost had it, bro. But he be saying stuff like, let me try to think. Oh yeah, yeah. Like instead of saying like there's more than one way to skin a cat, he'd be like, Poppy, you can cut up a cat all different kinds of ways. And I'm like, bro, like that's not how the expression goes, bro. Like you're there, like that's kind of it, but it's just that's not it. Feels like I have a little brother, even though he's older than me. Why does he feel like a little brother? Is it because of uh the process? Hey, he said I'll catch you. That's dope, man. I like stuff like that. And it's funny, man, when you got someone teaching you a language like that, like he's not gonna be aware of like how specific "I'll catch you" is. You know what I'm saying? Like if he says "I'll catch you" to somebody else, like they're gonna be like, "Yo, where you learn that at?" Like that's crazy. Cause there's hella stuff that I'll learn, bro, and nah, that's not true. That's not true. Like you just don't see them, but there's bro, like hold on, let me come back to this. But yeah, like there's certain stuff that I've learned, greetings, like all kinds of stuff like that that I don't know are very regional, right? Like, and I'll say it to someone and they'll be like, "Ah, bro, like, are you Colombian? Are you Puerto Rican?" And I'm like, "No." And they'll be like, "What?" Like, only a Colombian would say "nos pijamos." But like, it's like I catch you. Like if the person that you're talking to always says that, you're like, this is how we get off the phone. This is how we say we'll hook up later. This is blah blah blah, and you don't even think like, oh, this is very specific to this group of people. You know what I'm saying? And so that's really cool. That's something you can't fake. You could look stuff up, but there's some stuff that you only hear from talking to somebody else, and like, especially like saying it the right way and stuff. Okay, so back to this the genre like bachata, like Dominican bachata, actually started in Puerto Rico. You know who it was started by? A fucking jibaro. A jibaro is a Puerto Rican like ranchero, right? Like they're like real country people. But Puerto Rico, bro, has hella country people, and this is what I was telling you before. Those are the ones that still have like the Portuguese, like French um, influence in their Spanish. So they'll say like, me van a jobar. Like they don't say robar, they say jobar. So, but there's a lot of them, bro. They're just out the way. You're not gonna see them on TV with Bad Bunny. Like they're fucking cutting sugar cane in Puerto Rico and raising chickens and hunting crocodiles. I follow these two dudes like that, bro. I love watching that farm life, bro. I don't think I really want to live it. I don't want to live off the grid in Puerto Rico, but Yeah, yeah, Hibaro. Like I'll send you the first dude. Like I said, the first dude to make what is now considered bachata. He was called El Jibarito de Lares. Or better, no, I should put it the way. Ovidio Gonzalez. That dude is the reason that all of that, like Romeo Santos and all of that bachata that you hear today, he's the one that started that shit in Puerto Rico, and he was a Jibaro. So, like you said, you don't be seeing them over here. You probably wouldn't recognize them, bro, because shrunken heads came up. It's a very Puerto Rican word. I'm not surprised. Um, you might have to type Puerto Rico after it. Oh yeah, I don't know what this shit is that just popped up. That must be like another. That it's probably a word in another language too. That's probably like a Japanese word or something. Maybe if you type in El Jibaro. Let me see what happens if I put El in the front of it. Oh, okay, that changes it. All right, so yeah, if you type in El Jibaro, you're gonna see some probably you're probably gonna see dudes in like a long sleeve shirt, that typical hat. They just look like some dudes that's walking through sugarcane fields with machetes. But yeah, like those dudes, like you said, they're either gonna stay in Puerto Rico or like I feel like there's no way for you to really identify them here. Like you could like when I see a Mexican dude with like the fucking big ass sombrero and like the boots on, bro, like I can tell they're Mexican. But if you saw one of those dudes from Puerto Rico, you probably would just think he was like any old Puerto Rican dude because it's not like an exceptional outfit. It's just like a regular like sun hat, long sleeve shirt, thick ass pants. But that's like kind of, like a lot of old people dress like that. And so like the way that Puerto Rico is getting like gentrified and shit, you're right. There's definitely uh a lot of urban people, especially if they're gonna like come here and stuff. Because the ones that have their land still and they're like living off the land, they're gonna be able to hold out longer than somebody that has like that lives in an apartment or something like that gets pushed out. So, but yeah, if you saw them, like I said, you probably would confuse them with someone else because like how there's nothing like that really identifies them. Like same thing with Dominicans, bro. Like Dominicans, bro, I got so many Dominicans on TikTok that I follow that like have chickens and animals and shit, and they just like basically living in the country, bro. But like, I feel like if they come here, like you don't have that anymore. You know what I mean? So it's just like you probably just gonna assimilate and just like do what everyone else does. Like you don't have a reason to dress like a farmer anymore. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the people that I knew in Texas, like those like real paisa looking dudes, I feel like they still went back to Mexico sometimes, or they like lived on a plot of land even in Texas that had farm stuff. Um, so it was like they weren't completely removed from it. But like I said, if you come here from the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, like bro, like you gonna look crazy as hell. If I see a dude on the elevator like looking mad paisa, bro, I'm gonna be like, where are you going, bro? Like why do you have that on? Like we live in the most urban place ever. So nah, they are hella proud. But like I said, even the party I went to like 2 weeks ago, people was dressed like that, but we were also on a ranch. The party was on like a plot of land that had chickens and shit. So it wasn't like they were super out of place. Like I said, if you was in like a corporate office building dressed like that, I'll be like, That's kind of strange. But for what we're doing out here, it's not that strange. Country daughters don't like to admit to be country. What you just described, immigrant syndrome. Yeah, man, life's tough. Life's tough, bro. Life is tough. If you if you stick to being proud of your culture, you're gonna encounter problems with people that are asking you why you're resisting this culture. And if you blend into this culture, you're gonna encounter problems for people that are like, really, bro? You think you're American? Like you think you're from here? You're not proud to be where you're from? So it's kind of a L regardless, bro. Honestly, it's very tough to maintain two cultures, and you're gonna lose one of those battles regardless. But yeah, I mean, honestly, you're kind of losing both. You kind of just have to accept the fact that you are a part of two different cultures and just deal with what comes with it, because it's when you subconsciously live up to the stereotype to validate your own identity. Some Mexican Americans think you gotta wear somewhere else to be Mexican. Oh yeah, for sure. That's actually a big point of argument with Puerto Ricans too, because lots of Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico say this motherfucker is not Puerto Rican. He doesn't speak Spanish. But then like people will be like, bro, this is a colonizer's language, bro. Like we weren't speaking Spanish. Like this country, Puerto Rico, is a Spanish name. Like the Boricuas there don't call it that. Like that's not what it was named. This is what came after. So yeah, when you're speaking colonizer's language, you're doing colonizer stuff, and you're telling someone else that they're not this culture enough because they're not doing this stuff. It's like, bro, nobody is. Everyone's just trying to make it, dog. Like everyone's just trying to do what they can in life. Like it's tough. They forget not all Mexicans in Mexico are dressed like that. City Mexicans look down on country Mexicans just like in this country. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's like basically everywhere. Educated people, people that live in cities, they always look down on country people and they think they're more uneducated. And they might be, but that's pretty across the board. Cause even yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's a thing everywhere. Like I said, even in Puerto Rico, if you are a Jibaro, you might be proud of that, but someone else might say it as an insult. Like, it's fucking Jibaro. Like, you know what I mean? Just like country people here, they be like, yeah, I'm a country boy. I'm not used to this city stuff. I like blah, blah, blah. And someone be like, this country ass dude, man. Like, this dude still thinks that blah, blah, blah. So it's always a matter of perspective. Um, it's tough regardless. There's some Chicano YouTuber that wants to drop the Hispanic Latino label and instead claim an indigenous identity. Yeah, that's a thing. I got a friend that's like that. Well, she's really my wife's friend, but we're friends now. But she like fucks with her indigenous identity hard, even though I feel like she don't really know nothing about it. She's still like, this is really my people. I'm not a Spaniard. Like, these people came over here and did this to my people. And so you guys speak Spanish. We're Mexican, but we're indigenous. So she's like really into like, I don't know how to say it without it sounding like I'm like talking down on it because it's not my culture. But she's really into like posting shit and being like spending time with Mother Earth and like the flowers told her some shit or some shit like that. Like I said, I'm not talking shit about it. It just doesn't. When I see it, it doesn't mean anything to me because I'm not connected with Mother Earth like that. So I just be like, okay, but yeah, Yeah, she's tapped in with that indigenous side. Ah man, it's 11:32. All right, it is Friday night, but I'm actually just tired, ready for bed. So, any last words? Any last thing that you're gonna say? Go ahead, drop it. Rolando, you always got at least one more thing. Oh, I knew something was coming. Like you said, I think it's dumb when OG Mexican shit on Chicanos for not speaking English right in Spanish. They forgot that Spanish was imposed on their ancestors. Yeah, yeah, facts, facts. I know you know a bit about indigenous languages, but I always find it interesting that there's so many words in Spanish. Basically, when the Spaniards would encounter something that they didn't have in Spain, they just would basically leave it, which is why some words are like weird or they don't end in A or O or whatever. Right now, pretty much every single one of those words escapes me, but there's a lot of indigenous words in Spanish. Of course, right now, but normally I would probably have a list of like 50 words, but right now I can't think of any. I know you probably can think of at least one. Do, do, do. Now I gotta look up a list, bro. Indigenous words in Spanish. Did that come from an indigenous language? I'm talking about all the words that end in like E and shit. Oh, okay, here we go. Aguacate. Um, and so there's a lot of Taino ones like um, cacique. And let me see, what's another one that people use a lot? Man, this is a long list. I was hoping it was like cookie, elote, Haiti, Haiti, Iguana, Jamaica, Hibaro. Uh, but yeah, a lot of the stuff that ends in E, Hitomate, Loro, all that ends in O, but it's still a native word. Mai, Mani, Manati, Nopales. Yes, cacique. Well, yeah. In Puerto Rico, I don't really know what a chieftain is in English. Like, I mean, I know what it is. I know what a chief is, but I don't know like when we say it in English, it's mad general, but cacique is like specific in for Tainos because it was obviously they had like real fucking villages where like a chief meant something. That shit doesn't mean anything now. Some Mexicans say tomate, others eat tomate. Yeah, I knew that. Because that shit used to confuse me. You know what you might find interesting? Did you know that Colombians don't say. Oh, wait, I have to make sure I say it the Mexican way first. Did you know. How do Mexicans say it? Yo, I need you to type out how you say beans, but like not. Don't just type it. Type where you put the emphasis at. And then I'm gonna tell you something interesting. I'm gonna wait. Yeah, but I need you to type where you put the emphasis at, because I'm gonna tell you something. So if you say it with 3 syllables, put all caps on the part that you say the hardest, if that makes sense. Like where you put the emphasis at. Yeah, I know what Puerto Ricans say. That's not what I'm about to tell you. I'm about to tell you when you tell me where you put. Okay, so you say it like frijoles, right? I have to wait on you to confirm. Damn, bro, you're not gonna confirm? Anyways, assuming that you might have like walked away or something like that. Y'all say frijoles. And Colombians say frijoles. But like